Hello.
And now we are
Hi.
back, and we are here with the second portion of D&D with viewers. I
Are
am
we?
super
Oh my
excited to have
god.
everyone there. We are. It's happening. It's happening.
And
It's
I thought I was
truth.
given the D&D,
It's
the Conqueror's
actually
Light.
occurred. No, it's actually happened, and I think we have a chance of actually finishing it this time. So that's gonna be great.
Finishing it.
Yeah.
It all depends on our ability to solve puzzles.
That's well. Listen, I mean,
We might
and
be
make
here until
rolls.
2023, folks.
I know it exactly, and make rolls and stuff.
Uh,
We will do that in a minute. Before we get there, though, I do want to welcome these lovely people back, and I want to say hi to everyone out there who's watching us play some more D&D, which is the greatest game in the world. And even if you don't like, even if D&D is not your favorite, we can all agree that tabletop gaming is the best game in the world, and we can all agree on that. Pretty
or
pretty
just watching
solidly.
this Santa hat go crazy.
Yeah. So it's gonna be good stuff. So I'm very excited to welcome for the second time the D&D with Viewers crew, who are veterans, of course, of this channel and of previous campaigns. That said, though, I will begin with the gentleman right below me, who is being stalked by Santa Chan. I'm glad that I know that now. And that is, of course, is the amazing Brandon O'Brien. Brandon, happy holidays, my friend. It's good to see you. How is everything with you? How you doing? And who are you playing in this festivity? And I'm going to go get my book while you answer that question.
hmm Hi, everybody. It's me, Brandon O'Brien, again. Um, my holiday season has been pretty okay so far. It's very low key, which I think is the way I like it now. Just being home, eating and sleeping, and not having to worry about anything for a bit. Um, so yeah, my I've enjoyed the holiday season thus far, and I'm really eager for us to finally kill this puppet or whatever. Um, so I am playing Samhain Darkhill, a halfling monk who tries to be patient as much as possible, but at this point is prepared to just punch this thing in the face and be done with it. So we'll see how that goes.
I am excited to see how these folks continue, and I'm also excited to be DMing for them, not inside a closet. It's amazing how actually having room and like I can get
hmm
to all my stuff and like everything
Yeah,
is going to be
being
great.
able to put a piece of paper down and know where it went is good.
Yeah, exactly. Like all of that. I'm super excited about all that. I should mention, by the way, in case people are curious. Now the closings are not done. This is not a done deal, but we have both made and accepted offers respectively on the house that we're buying and the house that we're selling. So that's good news, and it means we're that much
hmm
closer to this place. And this, if we get this place, it's going to be pretty amazing. And in particular, friends of mine were like, well, would that involve game night? I'm like, oh gee, I don't know. Would it involve game night? Do you know who I am? Like, are you kidding me? It's like the first thing. You're like, well, what about this? I'm like, no, never mind whether the sewer system is filled with rust. Does it have a room that's suitable for games? That's what I want to know. So anyway,
As in, does it have a dedicated room though?
yeah. Oh no. Like anything that is an office, my office will be dedicated. No, yeah. There's something about that. So anyway, I don't know yet, but
Okay.
as I said, I won't give details beyond that. But we have moved forward. So cross your fingers, folks, because it would be really exciting if this happened.
Hey, question. Can I really hear music in the background here?
I do not.
Good.
I do not.
Good.
I hear
Carry
only
on.
you. And I also hear with us today, again, lovely to have Brandon with us. Also, of course, I think you already mentioned, ruler of the Sundays on this channel and all that stuff. But moving right on down the line, we have the amazing and awesome Triffity Mats, who is done with work for today and is ready to, bring forth the madness. Oh, before I leave Solon behind, actually, just very quickly. So, Solon is they them, he him.
Yes.
It is they them. Okay, that's what I thought. So Solon is they them. And do you have a hit point total for me, Brendan? Because I didn't. What you were at?
Um. Right. We were at 17. My sheet was at 17, and I can't remember if we got in a fight. I don't think we did.
You did, but it was over in about 3 seconds. You pretty much obliterated the imp that you were all fighting.
Oh, right.
So
Yes.
there was
We
an
just
imp.
like stepped on this imp.
Yes, exactly. So, okay, cool. So 17 and 17, good, lovely. Just want to make sure I knew what that was. Cool. All right, moving right on down the line, we have, of course, the amazing and awesome Triffity Mats. Triffid again, happy holidays, good to see you, Merry Christmas, etc., etc. How are you doing? How is life with you? And who are you playing in our little soiree of this game tonight.
Thank you. I'm playing Willow Kingsfoil, a human druid. And as for how I'm doing, work was not too bad. And I started trying to get my system ready for playing at 8:45, and it just did not want to cooperate today. So anyway, we're all here now.
It's
Fine,
so
thanks.
nice.
How are you? Oh man, I know that feels so much. So no problem, Triffid. It's okay. And you're playing today?
I am playing Willow Kingsfoil, a human druid, and I'm looking forward to it.
Very awesome. I saw the antlers, by the way, and for a moment I was just like, tiefling. Like, no, human druid, not a tiefling.
Well, it's funny, one of the illustrations in the player's handbook does have a druid wearing some kind of antler arrangement.
True.
So
It does.
I thought it worked.
Yes, no, I think you're absolutely right. So, okay, Willow Kingsfoil. And then same questions for you. Was it she, her for that? As
Yes.
Pronoun? Okay. And then hit points for you.
17.
Also 17. Okay, cool. I thought it was this, but I wanted to make sure. Cool. Awesome. Lovely to have you as always, Triffid. Also lovely to have with us, apparently, Santaban. I'm Clausman, apparently. And that is, I am either that or I am the terror that ho-hos in the night or something, that didn't come out the way I meant it to. So I'm just going to move on, and I'm going to just say hi to our good friend Echo Alpha X5. It is good to see you, Echo. How are you? And happy holidays, etc., etc. How are you, and who are you playing today, sir, in this lovely game of ours?
Oh. Yes, good evening, greetings, and hello. It is I, and start focusing, you piece of other whatever. Focus.
It's trying. There it is. You did.
I am doing good. It's been one crazy Saber day, to which it is actually Dark Saber-Tookie's birthday. 37 years old.
That's true.
When
It's
Armin
Boxing
still
Day.
needs to click like and retweet the tweet I made of the collage.
Oh, I will actually. I'll go look at that after we're done.
No, do it now while I'm talking.
Do it now, right this moment.
Yes, I order you. I have to set that.
Let me go look
I
at
start
it.
fleeing.
Keep telling us who you're playing and all that stuff.
But yes, we celebrated very nice his birthday today, 37 years old, and some gifts were given, nothing special. Beyond that, not much. Taking a break from everything. Next week is going to be a bit hectic because I'm going to make changes and stuff and make ready for 2021, which will be one hell of a year since I'm going to be moving away. Beyond that, nothing much, and I shall be playing Artendun Blade Sun, who is a high alpha fighter of the extravagant Alf. I have nothing else to say about them other than it is going to be one winter wonder of Splendor shenanigans.
Winter's Splendor, indeed. So Heil Fighter, and then same questions to you. Was it
Hit points are 18.
18, and was it he, him, they, them?
Yes, he, him, they.
Yes,
He,
it
him.
was yes. Is that what it was? It was yes and. That's the pronouns. It's just yes and.
I
All
had
right.
to speak, but I don't know how because I'm many some personalities. I'm all over the world.
I will say he, him for the moment, but you know.
Yes, but it is he, him. Yes.
Okay, it is he, him. Lovely.
Crikey.
I am very excited to have this crew back with us, and genuinely, these are folks who, in various ways, have actually been extremely important to the channel this year, and it's been great to get to know them. Triffid, of course, it's hard to believe that we only really started to, know each other this year, but has really done, been such a big part of the community, so I want to publicly thank her for being so awesome, and I want to do the same for Echo. Has been, of course, a longtime member of the community, and not just mine, but many others, so Echo, again, thank you so much for being as
They all came and gave me swords. I don't know why.
that's
I'm
we've talked about that. It has to do with hours and different things. And anyway,
No, I'm other people keep giving me swords, but I don't know why.
Oh yes, I was gonna say this is not, this is in no way a
I would
comment on
keep my
your.
diamond, thank you, so I can make Crash Bandicoot jealous of me.
That's very true. And so I appreciate that very much from Echo, and of course Brandon, who's also become a really good friend and is just a really, really great person and a wonderful poet and a wonderful creator and of course a wonderful GM who has done all this amazing game development stuff and does a bunch of stuff on the channel. And so it's great to have everybody here. And with that said, I'm going to fire up some music and we're going to talk a little bit about what happened in our last session because there was a lot, y'all. There was a lot that went down in our last session.
A lot.
It was a lot. So the party came to the wonderful city of Waterdeep, city of Splendors. And in the city of Waterdeep, they discovered several things that were there. For one thing, they discovered that there... Oh, I was like, where's my music? And then I realized I had Firefox muted. There we go. I was like, I had Firefox muted because Triffid was trying to get her audio working. Okay, so in our last session, the party was attending a festival. It was this huge festival known as Winter Splendor, which is run by a elite house of the city called House Castellanter. This is a house which basically has its political, the tentacles of its politics basically extend everywhere. You go there to see and be seen. Also, is a pretty good spread, if you like the buffet tables, you know what I'm saying? There's some pretty good food to be had there. And this party decided that they were going to become part of the mix. And so they went there.
Don't forget the giant muffin.
And on the way there, once they arrived there, before they went in, they did a little bit of a reconnaissance outside that mostly involved the consumption of giant baked goods. Mostly giant baked goods. There was one really tiny baked good, but they mostly, which I think was a donut, but they ended up getting this enormous muffin, which went on for days, and it was great. And it's funny because I talked about that, and then we ended up getting hit with every conceivable suite of recorded time, like over the holidays. Like it was absolutely ridiculous. People were like, let's have cookies, and let's have brownies, and let's have a pecan pie, and let's have the cranberry tart, and I'm like, good God, people, like, I'd like to actually survive the year. That would be the great irony. We survived 2020, the pandemic, but we don't survive like the pecan pie. Like that would be,
Yeah.
So anyway, so there was a lot of food to be had, and it was great. And then they were finally invited in, where they gathered with a group of other notables from the city of Waterdeep, including some of the merchants who had been selling goods right outside. A couple of hundred people at least, watched over by security guards and people like that, including guards from the city. And then Aria Cavatina came up to begin singing a beautiful holiday song, and basically did so in this spectacular way, just completely compelling. The Castellanter children who were there, who were listening, were just kind of like marveling at what was happening, and just like, oh wow, they were there as part of it too, and everything seemed to be going great. And then something happened, and that is that an imp attacked Arya, literally attacked her, jumped onto her shoulders, stung her with its tail, leaped off of it, yes, exactly, and started cackling wildly. The party reacted faster than everyone else. Everyone else was kind of freaking out. The guards were trying to get there. The party went up and essentially dunked on it into next week, obliterated this imp, essentially, and then, of course, had to do a little bit of deduction, let us say. The room was sealed off by the captain of the guards, whose name I swear I'm going to get in just about 3 seconds, and that is Hyustus Staggett, yes, Captain Staggett, not to be confused with Bob Saget, the previous comedian and then foul-mouthed comedian and star of Full House. But Captain Staggett...
Great TV shows.
Yeah, exactly. Captain Staggett, blocked off the room, and eventually discovering that the party was indeed more than just, rich merchants or, merchants trying to make their way in the world with the kiosks that they ran outside this house, but were actually adventurers, enlisted their aid. The party began to do a little bit of research themselves and investigation, and they discovered some interesting things. The first was that they discovered that there was a piece of paper that was found near the body of the imp, and basically it was essentially, and I think I still have this handout, there we go, it was this thing called the Wooden Girl, which was a fairy tale from the Faerun Child's Book of Fables that apparently is well known around this season. Not a very happy tale, by the way, a tale in which this wooden puppet agrees to go with this person so she can have her freedom, and yet ends up being burned by this man who turns out to be evil and needed this puppet for wood for a spell that he was engaging in. The thing that made it particularly interesting to the party, though, was the fact that in the tale, the girl's name is Eliza, and yet on multiple occasions in the tale is referred to as Elzarina. Elzarina happens to be one of the two children of the Castellanters, and when the party began to interrogate, speak very nicely to and pleasantly, the daughter and son, what they discovered was that Elzarina, basically knew a lot more than she was letting on, and it turns out that she had been visited basically by, unwittingly by reading this tale. She had released this imp, not the imp that they killed, but another imp, and they ended up going up to the room to try to discover information from them. Her brother, by the way, Terenzio, only basically knew that he had heard his sister talking to someone, but knew nothing else about this. This was basically Elzarina alone. And when Elzarina told the party this, the party went upstairs to her room to try to gather more information. When they went into the room, they discovered a couple things that were interesting. In particular, a circular area rug in the middle of the room on which had been sitting several hair barrettes and 7 marbles that seemed to be all kind of scattered about randomly. And what they ended up discovering, thanks to the discovery of the imp whose name was Chernok, is that this basically is a summoning circle that was being recommended by what Chernok kept referring to as, quote, the big guy. And the big guy here in this side, hold on a second, my center thing is frozen. Wait for just a moment. There we go, lovely. This big guy is Asmodeus, who I think everyone here, even if you're not familiar with D&D, may have heard of this person before, this creature before. Asmodeus is a huge demonic, basically a devil, one of the lords, princes of darkness. Asmodeus is bad news, and basically, apparently, has been looking for a way to enter this world, and did so by preying on the innocence of a child who simply wanted to read a story in which her name featured prominently. So once this imp appeared, the imp explained that there could be a lot more fun they could have if she would just finish making this circle on this rug. And so you see this symbol before you with several of these pickup sticks, and of course with these little these black circles here looking like marbles laid out. And of course, using alphabet letters, and there just happen to be alphabet letters in that trunk as well, you could essentially summon Asmodeus. Now, this is where the party ran into a little bit of trouble, because the party, and frankly, side note, quite reasonably, I think, did not want to bring Asmodeus into this world, and so does not want to complete this circle. The problem is that they were not able to intimidate Chernok because they are unable to really damage Chernok. When they hurt him, Chernok is like, yeah, you hurt me, but I'm just going to come back because the little girl started a ritual, and once the ritual started, it's got to be ended. So the party, after a lot of work back and forth and trying to interrogate various people, discovered that the thing about a portal is that it usually has 2 connecting points in our world. Think of it as a triangle. You have to triangulate the 3 points together. One point is on the elemental plane of fire, of hell, where Asmodeus resides, and the other is on this plane, and there are 2 points on this plane that exist. One of them would be this summoning circle, and the other one, presumably, would be in this other area of the city, which they discovered is probably the City of the Dead. And the City of the Dead is the place which is basically a huge mausoleum graveyard where a lot of the city's nobles and so forth are laid to rest at the end of their lives. And so this is somewhere in that City of the Dead is where apparently the other end of this portal can be found. The party, though, still has a problem, and that is that the City of the Dead is a city of the dead, not a couple of gravestones of the dead. There's a lot of gravestones, and they don't have a lot of time, because the longer they wait, the more that the child herself and everyone within House Castellanter, and maybe even Waterdeep, is going to be at risk. So what does the party do? Does it finish the ritual and confront this creature here, or does it try to find and destroy the second energy point? I think the party had basically decided, correct me if I'm wrong, that they were going to not summon the demon and try to find the second energy point to destroy it, which leads to the question, well, where is that second point? And so, as I am about to hand things back over to the party, there is something which may end up helping the party as a result. So I want to ask the party if there's anything they want to do very quickly, but there is a person who is coming to knock on the door, who shortly after I begin is going to introduce themselves to you. So I'm going to hand things back over to the party, and I'm going to ask if there's anything else that the party wants to check first. Because you have several people coming back to give you the last bit of this information about the City of the Dead, and that's going to... There's going to be other choices that come as a result of this. But I want to ask first, does the party have anything else it wants to do in the children's room, which I believe is where the party is right now, is up in the children's room. So I will now hand things back over to them. What would you folks like to do? I think you are in the children's room right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I think we wanted to... Because I think we had spoken to the captain of the guard.
Yes.
So, and we had already checked up on, what was her name again? And something.
Elzarina?
Yeah, do you mean the daughter, Elzarina?
Yeah, well, her too, and the singer.
Ah, Arya. Okay.
Yeah. So I think we had done all that, though, correct me, party, if I'm mistaken. So...
I also want to ask, with the sigil, the partial sigil, which way is the arrow that's on the diagram we're looking at pointing at? Is the arrow in there?
Let me bring that up again. Yes, the arrow is pointing to the left or the west is where the arrow is.
Is that pointing towards the graveyard? I mean, the City of the Dead?
It is not, no.
Okay.
It is not. It may, of course, be a location within the graveyard, who knows, but it definitely is not pointing to the graveyard. The graveyard from here is roughly, I mean, I guess a little bit, it's sort of southwest, but like much more south than this is pointing, I guess is what I would say.
So, a very important question to ask as a result then is anything about the orientation, would anything about the orientation of the sigil tell us anything about the City of the Dead?
Tell you anything about, I'm sorry, the witch? About
the City of the Dead.
Ah, okay. Let me have you make a history check, please.
History?
No, I'm sorry, I take that back. Let me have you make a religion check. I apologize.
You'd imagine that a monk would have points in religion. I do not.
Yeah, for me it's just basic intelligence. So
that's whiz, right? So that's +2.
I am too much of a brute to have religion. I'm a high elf.
Hey.
Okay.
So I got a 19.
19.
That's
If you decide to know more, ask the Altmas.
Seems logical that a druid would have some religious resonance anyway, some broad spiritual resonance. Unfortunately, Solon is not so much resonant in that way. Maybe it's more sort of general, pop psychology, like that sort of thing.
Yeah. I know how to climb trees and punch people in the face. I know nothing about it.
That's a religious experience, all right?
I'm a member of an entire brotherhood, and this never came up to me at all.
Yeah, for real. Okay, fortunately for all of you, though, Willow does know something about this. So there are a couple of things to note about this. The first is not going to be surprising, which is that sigils like this have traditionally been used as summoning circles. This is not shocking. But the other thing that is important to note here is that you don't necessarily know that there are that this is pointing to anything particular within the graveyard, or that it would tell you anything more about the City of the Dead. However, you do know that sigils generally need to be made of consistent materials, by which I mean if you start with gold coins and sticks, you need to finish with gold coins and sticks, right? So as you understand it, your best guess about this is that whatever this is, it is tied in to the toys that began the construction of this sigil. So whether it's in the City of the Dead or here, the toys are connected to it somehow.
All right, so we should take the pickup sticks with us. Is there any gold in the chest? Golden objects?
There are not. Actually, it's a good question. Let me see. I don't think there are golden ones. There are.
And the marbles.
There are metal ones. I mean, you've got pickup sticks, which are wood, obviously. There's a velvet pouch which you actually haven't opened yet, which has something rattling around. There is an empty velvet pouch, presumably the ones that held the marbles that are currently out on the floor. The alphabet blocks are made of wood. There is an articulating wooden snake. There's a dreidel, also made of wood. There is a music box, which is in the shape of an egg. And that is sort of kind of very fancy looking and looks like it's inlaid with jewels and things like that. There might be some gold, but it doesn't seem to be like the primary, ingredient or material on this egg.
All right, so I think we should open the unopened pouch, and then my idea is that we will go to the City of the Dead and try to find an object that has wood and gold and a snake carved into it, maybe, or something like that. Something along those lines.
Okay.
Because that was all mentioned, the snake was mentioned in the Legend of the Wooden Girl. And those are the ideas I'm getting, but if anyone else has other ideas, speak up. Meanwhile, I will open this pouch.
Quick note, by the way, that her chest, the chest itself, is made of shiny white with gold handles. So there are gold handles on the handles themselves are made of gold. Her brother's, Terenzio's, is made of all wood. And you haven't opened that one yet. You've just been looking, obviously, at Elzarina's. When you open the pouch, you find a set of metal jacks within them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it possible that the alphabet blocks or the bag that they came in have any indication of where they were made?
Make an investigation check for me. The blocks are in these two little, like, mini suitcases almost. Like, you open them up and then they're all laid out, all 26 letters in each case are laid out in them. And so one of them is open and a lot of the blocks are just sort of around. And so the case is there and then the other case is closed. But if you open it up quickly, you can see it also has those letters within it. So if you do an investigation check, you can look to see if you wish.
Which gives me a 15.
It's not clear where these were made. It is clear that these are very high quality and that they don't look particularly worn. So they have not been used all that much, from what you can tell.
Can I tell what wood it is?
I would say probably not. Not with that.
Yeah.
Except that you can say that it's a high quality wood. It's definitely not balsa wood. Know what I'm saying? Not one of those.
Okay. I am going to pocket 2 alphabet blocks.
Okay. Which ones?
The 2 S's.
Okay. All right. So you're going to.
So 1 quarter of this sigil cannot be made unless somebody brings me back here.
Outstanding.
That's good thinking.
All right. So you take those 2. So you do that. Did you, Willow, want to look at anything else within the chest beyond what you already did, the bag and so on?
I'll open the boy's chest real quick and see if if there's anything.
that.
I mean, because he might have been lying. He didn't seem to be lying, but we don't know. So go ahead
Just
and check
torture
that.
equipment. No, I'm just kidding. And that's not the case. Just
Lots and lots of knives.
lots of knives. No, tons of stuffed animals: wolf, fox, bear, dragon. All versions of it. Seems to really like bears. Bunch of that, and then there's a train set, like a wooden train set, and showing that there is potential in this child, a set of dice. I think we can all agree that some potential in this kid.
Not an indicator of gambling, just an indicator of tabletop
Yeah.
awareness.
You notice that the dice are weighted, like, oh no, no, just kidding. So yeah.
Although it might indicate the lineage of Pyron Jade, who has, I believe, 75 dices or something, I believe.
That's
That
true.
sounds like very little, but still.
Huh.
Yes. Okay. So as you're sort of, finishing up with Terenzio's chest, there is a knock at the door. And coming in through the door is, first of all,
Yes.
Yes, sorry?
No, you said there was a knock at the door, and I
Oh.
just say yes.
And the door opens, and coming in are, first of all, one of the guards that Captain Stagit had sent out, had sent out. And along with him is the singer, Aria Cavatina. And she still looks a little shaken from her ordeal, but as I mentioned, health-wise, she's okay. We talked about that already, I believe. And so she comes up to you, and she says, I wanted to see you because I think I may be able to help.
Oh?
Yes.
I step toward her and gesture for her to sit on one of the available beds.
And she kind of sits down heavily, and thank you. She says, I'm not sure whether... She kind of looks up at the guard, and she's like, this may be better if I could speak just to them. And the guard is kind of looks vaguely suspicious, but then kind of nods slowly and, taking his other companion, there were 2 guards in there before, walks out and just closes the door lightly behind them, so they're just on the other side of it. And she looks up to you and she says, when I was attacked by that creature, I knew immediately what it was.
How was it that you knew?
I am an Aasimar, one of the celestial beings of light. My family comes from a long line of them. I myself am no longer divine, but the blood runs in me as it has in my family. For generations we have drawn upon that power to give hope and light to people through our music. This creature wanted to attack me, I have no doubt, because of it, and I sensed it here. When it attacked, I knew there were others. I wanted to be sure, and I found from the Castellanters that there may be something associated with it, and I asked to come see you. Is there something? And then her eyes fall on the sigil, and she kind of looks up and goes, oh no. Please tell me that this has not been finished.
It has
has
not been
not, no,
finished.
yet.
We're trying to figure out how to cancel it.
She takes a deep breath.
We have rather sought the performances of a cleric. One of the guards has been summoned to go forth to seek this cleric. I believe he was.
Oh, we already had the cleric.
I
come
saw
and
him
visit.
downstairs.
Oh,
You
yeah,
sent him down there.
yeah. No.
And she
Yes,
says,
we
Quickly
we
rewind.
but yes, we sought a cleric who is downstairs right now. So we are hoping to gain some clues as to where we would learn the location of the second portal, of the second gate.
She says, where do you think this second portal may be found?
Most likely somewhere in the City of the Dead, but that is a large place to search.
And she nods. She says, I thought so. Then I am blessed. And she pulls out from her robe a scroll case, beautifully, intricately designed. You can see that the scroll case, which at first looks simply to be wooden, actually glitters as she turns it, and you can see that there is a line woven through it of what looks like these silvery leaves. And she runs her finger over the leaves, like waving around the embossed area, right? Following this silver set of leaves around the case, at which point the top opens of its own accord. And she reaches in and pulls out a basically a scroll and unrolls it. And she says, "This is a song that was passed down to me by my father, and from his father to him, and his father to him, and so on. For generation to generation, the Cavatina family has done this, at least on my father's side. My mother's side always said they were the ones who kept the father's side from getting out of line musically. My mother might even have been a better singer than my father, I think. They were both bards. But it was from my father's line that we received this song. He told me once, not long before he passed, that there may come a time when I would need to use this. I would have the wit, he said, and the skill then to do what must be done." And so she holds the song out, and any of you can, or holds the scroll out, and any of you can take it if you wish.
Artanoon does so.
Okay, so this, I'm going to show you what you see. I don't know if it's showing up for you, but if it doesn't, I will put it there right now in your journals. Right now.
Yep.
Yep.
See it.
So, what we have here is what appears to be a song, and it seems to be incomplete. And I'm going to stop the music here, as beautiful as it is, because I need to concentrate on what the hell we're doing, so that I can actually do this. It is a song, and part of the scroll, she says, part of this was burned when my great-grandmother Alea faced off against a dragon many years ago. The dragon was defeated, but not at cost to my great-grandmother and to most of her items. I have wanted to compose a new end to this song and restore its power. It is said that with this song, one can discover whatever one wishes, especially if it involves power of some kind. Bring it to this place, and the most potent source of power will be revealed to you, even if it is hidden from anti-divination magic or concealed by the mightiest of spells. This song will allow you to find it. I do not know how the song will do this, how it will manifest. I know only that it will do so. My father assured me that it would. This is what I know of it." And she looks down and she begins to softly sing. "Like a candle I burn in the glow of your radiance. Like a plucked string I learn the bright hum of your resonance. Like a pilgrim I bow, humbled by your divinity. Will you come to me now? I send you my prayer, my plea. Lifted voice, lowered eyes, prostrate here on hands and knees." And then she trails off, and she says, "I don't know what lines must come next. I thought, though, that perhaps you could help me. If we can complete this song together, we may find a way to find what we seek without having to search the city of the dead." So mechanically what this means...
Can I just say something? Can I just say something?
This is my greatest bane, trying to finish someone else's poem.
Yeah, same here. Although I have a comment on that. Armin, have you been playing some Dragon Age Inquisition? Because I heard the Song of Dawn there.
I don't know if that's true. I just sing things like this to you.
Rob, if you're here, run.
Yeah. Anyway, so, and you can see now, I know no one in this group is going to know anything about rhythm, meter, or scansion. I mean,
Yeah, no one at all.
I know no one knows what's there.
Music, I want to know how to sing it.
No one in this call at all literally owns a book called The Book of Rhyming Words that has entire chapters
I
on
know
prosody.
I know it's working against type. I understand that,
Yeah.
but so basically the mechanics of this is you're looking for something which is going to fit here. And obviously, now the syllable, the scansion here, the 6 and the 8 syllables, that has to be matched. But it also has to be something that will essentially confirm that this addiction. I literally read that it's spelled wrong in the thing. Addition, not addiction. The addiction could be good in other ways. The addition is a good fit. And so there's two things to this. The first is to come up with the lines, and the second is to do a couple of ability checks to confirm that those lines are correct. And I will reward you with advantage on one or both of those ability checks, depending on how good the lines are. So if you give me, I like cheeseburgers, yo, and I'll tell you I said so, you're not going to get advantage on that. Although, wait, does that, I like cheeseburgers, yo. Hey, listen, that's not, no. That's got some power to it. No. So that's it. That's the idea. And I'm not going to play the music during this because it's distracting. So I'm going to allow the party to chat it up, work it out. If one of the group, you know, like if Samhain, for example, as a monk, maybe, you know, there was
sits
this
and
time
meditates
once.
on
Yeah.
every Buddhist koan that Samhain has ever read while in the monastery.
They all just say Om. I don't know. It's all just Om. Like,
I literally am going to write on the back of a receipt something that will or will not make sense. So, like, in character, let's just say that Samhain goes in a corner and goes to sleep for a bit.
Any of the rest of you can do this too, by the way. You can contribute your own, you know.
Well, I like how it's like a poem, because they have I burn, I learn, radiance, residence, bow, low, plea, divinity. So I lifted voice, lowered eyes, prostrated here on hands and knees.
I'll go to the window.
Okay.
And I will sing underneath the free. Sorry. I'm a druid, not a bard. Underneath the freedom of the skies, send us knowledge, save the city, please.
Okay.
Which at least rhymes.
That's right. All right, give me those lines again. Underneath
the freedom of the skies, send us knowledge, save the city, please.
Send us knowledge. Save the city, please. Okay. So those are two options. So now again, it has to be officially done so that it's all added into the song at once. So that's one option that I'm going to put out there as one thing you considered, which you can add if you wish. What else?
Samhain briefly opens one eye, closes one eye again, and goes back to.
Art and Dune, do you have any additions? Like, you know, elves are the best. They're the best of all the rest. Or it's just a pizza box. You've tried the best, now try the rest with elves.
God. No, please.
Roses are red, violets are purple. This poem doesn't rhyme. Orange marmalade. Yeah,
Jesus
nice.
Christ.
Dig it, Ridno. That doesn't work, by the way. They try it and it just doesn't work. I can't believe it doesn't work, but it doesn't work.
Well, I would think it has something to do. Well, it has golden wings, so it's a sort of. It is sort of divinity into it.
Mm-hmm.
Send you my prayer, my plea, humble by your divinity. You know, I do the stream introductions. I could do that properly well. When it comes to music, well, yeah, I don't know. I can sing it, but I cannot tune it.
You could give it to me in Norwegian. I wouldn't know what the hell it was saying to begin with. You could just be like, Arvin's a jerk. I like films.
Arven en idiot. Ja, vi alle vet det.
See, I don't know. I'd be like, wow, that sounds awesome. And you actually told me to leap in a pit. I don't know. You know, so your life is complete. Your masterpiece was just performed live. Listen, that's quite a masterpiece. I really know. Okay, so we have underneath the freedom of the skies. Send us knowledge, save the city, please. That's one option.
I hate being a poet sometimes. Because I'm like, do I want to show y'all exactly how I think when I'm writing a poem right now while we're supposed to be playing D&D?
Listen, it's great. Like, this is,
It's the way of the D&D. You expand and you learn and you...
Exactly. It also puts the lie to, D&D is all about fighting and combat. You never do anything else in there. Yeah, really? Check this out. Flex.
This is a
Blades in the
lovely
dark.
puzzle. This is a lovely puzzle. But part of me is like, why is this happening live? Why am I not at the table?
I didn't.
Like...
In fairness, this is part of the adventure that I didn't just write to tailor to you. So it's not me mocking you. It actually, but it was funny when you were going to do it. I was like, ooh, I'm glad that we're doing this now when we're awake, as opposed to last time at the end when we would not have been up for this. This here breakfast is fried. Would you pass the orange juice, please?
Too many syllables. Oh my god.
So it'd be...
Because the thing is, I'm hearing it in my brain, and I'm like, oh my god.
Pass the orange juice, please. No, actually...
Wait, is it?
No, that's right. This here breakfast is fried. That's 6. Would you pass the orange juice? Would you pass the orange juice, please? Yeah, that's right.
I thought I heard something off there. Okay.
So it'd be...
I'm off my element there, but that sounds... okay, I don't know.
So it would be, lifted voice, lowered eyes, prostrated here on hands and knees. Yeah. Prostrated here on hands and knees. And then this here breakfast is fried. Would you pass the orange juice, please? Mist and shadow to the end of night. No, I don't want to get the DMCA strikes.
Oh Lord, oh
from the
Lord, oh
film.
Lord.
That song is...
When Twitch police comes knocking on your door.
Exactly. How good was that song?
No,
God,
not those police. This police.
I made sure. Rock God, I regret to tell you that song, that they try that and it also doesn't work. So, for some reason the gods are not. I like the idea that the guards are actually like saying this outside the door, like Rock God is the guard. He just opens it up and says that, and Arya tries it, and she's just like the disappointed shaking of the head, like.
Well, okay. So the song seems like to be a prayer of sorts. I send you my prayer, my plea. Lifted voice, lowered eyes. So it would have some meaning towards prayer in a way. So, and what does the A and B, A B C D E D mean?
It's a reference to. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Brandon.
The third line should rhyme with eyes, and the fourth line should rhyme with knees.
It means that the lines.
That was why I did the skies, please thing.
Yeah, it means that the end of each line echo rhymes with each other. So burn and learn.
That's a given. That's
radiance
a
and resonance. That's what ABAB is. So anything that's A is the same. Sound that rhymes with.
Prostrated here on hands and knees.
I got no Christmas ties.
But I got
oh
the
my God.
Santa hat.
Oh my God, no, not the bees. It doesn't quite work either. It's a syllable off. Oh my God, no, they're not the bees. Yeah, there you go.
Oh Lord.
Okay, so the syllable has to be like, you have to have like there not be something like that. I am so out of my element.
Yeah. So ed. So yeah, you just, as you said, you're right. Like eyes would have to rhyme. You have to rhyme something with eyes and something with knees, but also presumably have to be something that makes sense within the context of what you're doing, which is why so far the only one who hasn't, Willow, who's the only one who hasn't done something that's food related, seems to be closer. Like,
well, let's not forget Triffimat's previously performances on this channel.
I have not forgotten. I was aware of the fact that there would be more than just Brandon who could weigh in, and as you said, your streamer introduction. So
and Amal and Matar.
Yeah, well, that would be a whole other thing if I had Amal in here.
If Amal were here, this would already be done.
Because she plays a bard literally in the Adventures of Middle-earth campaign that we do it. So yeah.
So Samhain, like takes like a beat, stops, meditates, is just essentially listening to the song in their head over and over and over again. And like without even opening their eyes, they just kind of start singing. Answer our weary cries, set these tired hearts now at ease.
Okay.
And then opens one eye again and looks at everybody to see if everybody's looking at them.
Are they?
And Artendun is staring right at him.
Yes, I'm looking at him.
Okay.
Artendun is staring at him like Norwegian stares at Arden at all.
I see how
No,
it is.
no, not that, please. Oh my lord.
So what was it again? Answer our weary cries.
Set these tired hearts now at ease.
Aye. What turn off the lights?
Well, give me that first line again, Brandon. Sorry. So these
Answer our weary cries.
and answer our weary cries. Yep. Okay. And then set these tired hearts now at ease. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, your options right now. So you have underneath the freedom of the skies, send us knowledge, save the city, please, or answer our weary cries, set these tired hearts now at ease, or this here breakfast is fried. Would you pass the orange juice, please? There's also that. Or roses are red, orange marmalade. I guess that's also an option that Rudnell gave you, and you can choose to do what you like with that. So those are your options.
I just want to interject very briefly to say that there is a community challenge that has just started to boost this stream.
What?
So if anybody wants to do the thing, it would actually be kind of rad if we could actually do the thing, so people could see us, I guess, sing in the city of the dead later
if
this
anyone
stream.
has a lot of viewer points and channel points, you could spend up to 2,000 per day to help increase.
To boost
We're
it,
already
yes.
at 8,000 right now.
That's a good call. Yeah, if you folks are able to boost the channel with channel points,
come on, people.
so we get more.
And I'll note you have to be using your computer, not a mobile.
Yeah, not
to
mobile,
do that.
unfortunately, which is unfortunate, but yeah, thank you. That's a good call.
But it is presently at 10,000, which is just under a quarter of the goal. So if we just get essentially like 15 more people to do the thing, it should work.
Thank you for the reminder about that. I still got 148k left. Yeah.
Oh, Arwen, don't be so pessimistic.
I'm not pessimistic. I have great faith in this community. But so while they're waiting to sort of look into that and do that if they can, in the meantime, you both have sung this out loud, so you have both heard each other's lines, and Arya has heard them both and seems willing to fit, either one of them or both in. Do you want to use either one, combine them? What's your thought about what you want to do?
Artendun, I want to ask her a question, actually.
Okay.
This song seems, and pardon for I am not a man of the musical talent or artistry that certain people have around here. I was more one to consume the music and in its lyrics, not to participate in them. But from what I read on this scroll, it seems to be a sort of divinity towards a redemption, something. Do you recall what the song was originally written about?
And she says, I know only that I was told by my father that it has been with us for a very long time. It is said that our blood comes from Miliel, ancient celestial blood, and that this scroll was passed down. It has magical properties, it is said in my family's lore, and it can seek out great power, especially great sources of evil, when necessary. In the time that it was written, it was dangerous to confess one's divine heritage, and certainly just as dangerous to confess one's demonic heritage. And so both demons and angels and those who supported either made spells, songs, works to allow them to discover the other. I don't entirely know what will happen when this song is read, except I do know it will help find things we might not otherwise be able to. I did not think that I would be using this scroll this evening, but it seems this is the time my father said would be waiting for it.
So, well, if that is so,
I like the idea of. Sorry.
so what was it that drew you here to this? Was it a cat or was it a hall?
The House Castellanter.
The house castle. Yes.
Yeah, the House Castellanter. So, and she says, I was invited here because of I have some small measure of fame and exposure in this land and city of Waterdeep. I was invited to provide my singing and my talent. And yet, as I said, it felt strange from the very beginning of the song, and right after the attack, I sensed a presence, a darkness. I have always been able to do so.
The more I hear it, the more it seems like you were, like, as you say, the darkness drew you here. But I cannot help but wonder that some may have known about your heritage before and have taken advantage of this.
It's possible, I suppose.
If it is able to conceive it, well, to sense your aura or to see it upon looking at you, I am, and so he looks towards the others and then back at her, and but you have sent us a plea, and we are here now, and we shall seek out and defeat this rather malevolent evil. For goodness knows, I did not expect a darn little imp to interrupt such a fine evening.
And she nods and says, Nor did I.
Well, you did expect.
To be attacked? No. I sensed it only after the attack happened, but I did feel strange before the attack, yes, but I didn't sense that evil right at the moment. Not until the attack happened.
And he nods and turns towards the others. I seem to have heard some lyrics coming from you. Have you gathered anything? Pardon for me not to participate in this, but I'm afraid I'm not a musical articulate man. Elf.
Sawed, still with eyes closed, says, noted. I think we just have to choose. How do you feel about yours, Willow? Because I like mine.
I think yours is a lot closer. One thing I would note was that you were saying our and us, and this poem seems the song seems very personal. So I would say the first of your lines should be answer my cries instead of our cries. And the second line, instead of setting our hearts at ease, setting our hearts at ease, it should be something like share your grace, set my heart at ease. Share your grace and set my heart at ease.
Shall I read out the lyrics again to you?
No, that's too many lines. Share your grace, set my heart at ease.
Shall I read out the lyrics to you all once again? Do you need to hear it again?
Mm-mm. So Samhain hears that and nods and says, "That's actually much better. Thank you."
Okay, so we're looking at answer my weary cries
Yes.
and share your
Share
grace.
your grace. Set my heart
ease.
at ease.
Answer my weary cry.
Ah. Okay.
Well, it needs to be cries to rhyme with eyes.
Yeah,
Cry,
I mean,
well,
you do have a point. Yeah, cries.
You just answer my weary cries. Share your grace. Like it's not.
Oh my god.
Answer my weary cries. Okay. Share your grace. Set my heart at ease. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. If so, do you want to? Is that what you want to give to Arya?
Hmm?
Okay. Then I'm going to ask one of you to make a performance check
I
with
can do that.
advantage to see whether the addition is a good fit, and then you need to see how it works when we actually put it together to perform it. So we'll
I
start.
Does
don't
anyone-
have performance. I have a +1 in charisma.
Okay.
Okay, I should not do it because I have -1 in charisma.
Okay.
I do not have performance, but I have a +1 in charisma.
So can one of us help the other?
No.
Okay.
One of the two of you is going to have to do it. So it depends on whether you want to, embrace the music or punch it in the face. I think it really is you're going to punch this meter in the face. Bam.
I feel like I might have a little more sympathy with Arya, the singer.
That's fair enough. So since you both have the same, so do you want to do that then, Willow? That you want to?
I will do that.
Okay. So, you tell her the lines, and she kind of waits to hear them. So you tell her the lines, and again and you're doing the lines that you collectively came up with that started with Samhain, and then you adjusted, right?
Yes.
Okay. So then you tell her the two lines, and they are.
You are not under any compulsion to sing. You can.
Yeah, you don't have to
use
sing
the
it if you
words.
don't want to. It's totally up to you.
Answer my weary cries. Yes. Share your grace. Set my heart at ease.
Okay, and she nods. Make a performance check for me, please.
Hey, not bad.
17.
17.
And she nods slowly and she says, "This could perhaps work." And so she stands and in the center of the room and actually walks over and looks down and then stands in the middle of the rug among the broken, sigil pieces. And she sort of sings slowly, "Like a candle I burn in the glow of your radiance. Like a plucked string I learn the bright hum of your resonance. Like a pilgrim I bow, humbled by your divinity. Will you come to me now? I send you my prayer, my plea. Lifted voice, lowered eyes, prostrated here on hands and knees. Answer my weary cries. Share your grace, set my heart at ease." Okay. Now, I need you, Willow, to make one more performance check. This is basically to make sure that, although she was the one singing it collectively, that all of this fits together in those lines. And before you do it, this is a moment, chat, that inspiration could be used to assist because
End of the month.
it's the end of the month, it's the end of the
It's
year.
the final D&D of the year.
You could
Something Christmas miracle, something.
yeah. Exactly. I know there are a few of you in here who do in fact have, and Lone Wolf has inspired Willow. Thank you, Lone Wolf.
Hey, Lone Wolf.
All right, let's see what we get.
So do I add a d6 to the roll then?
No, this is at advantage. That means so
at
you're
advantage.
advantage, right? So
All right. So
even better.
first roll.
Which means, because I've always done this automatically, I want to learn.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Let me try that
What
again.
just happened
She
there?
loudly shouts out D20 plus 1, and there is no effect except that the guard like peeks in through the door.
Okay, there's one.
Okay.
Let's take
Oh,
the
Lord.
first
Let's go
one.
with the 16. Share your grace.
Oh, Lord.
Set my heart with peas. No, not peas. I'm sorry. Not peas. So as you go through this, as Arya sings it, there is a moment's pause. And then there is a yellowish golden glow that begins to circle around right in front of the face, actually, of Arya. And it grows a little larger until it is a globe maybe the size of her head that swirls and sparkles with this yellow and golden light. And then it becomes super intense. I finally get the chance to use it. Super intense until you cannot see anymore. As my camera is like, don't you?
Bryant.
And then all at once, there is a whoosh, like a flash like that. And flying in its place is a golden, tiny dragon. And it is just sort of floating in place. It's what we call, actually, you would probably know this, I think, Willow, as a pseudo-dragon, a small, tiny little flying dragon. And it does not speak or make any sound at all. But Arya puts out her wrist, and the pseudo-dragon just lights on it, and then sort of looks. And even as you look at it, it constantly shimmers, almost as if it has something around its scales, almost, so you can't quite see it. It doesn't fully focus, if you follow what I mean. And she says, "So, have you come to help me, little one?" And it kind of, looks around and sort of turns in place on her wrist, and lifts up its head, and just a little circle of flame right above its mouth, and then looks back with these solemn eyes, and she says, "You must help these people. There is a portal to the land of darkness below. You must find where it is in the city of the dead. Can you do it?" And so it kind of circles around again on her wrist, and she says, "I must stay here. You will go with one of them." And so it sort of turns and looks at all three of you, and has these extremely intelligent, almost sort of piercing gaze of its eyes, and looks at all three of you, and she says, "You must go to one of them." And so kind of looks left and right, and then takes off and circles around Artundunan's head, and then circles around Samhain's head, and does a couple of loop-de-loops and spirals, and finally settles on Willow's shoulder. And kind of looks over at Willow and then back at all of you. And Arya smiles and says, "It appears it's chosen you, Willow."
I smile back at it, not grinning, but just a tentative little smile.
Mm-hmm. And she says, "Now that we have completed it," and she writes out the sort of last couple of lines on this paper with a quill, and she writes it quickly and says, "I have this," and she puts a hand over her heart, "here. But you deserve this." And she rolls it up, and she hands it over to you, Samhain. And she says, "This song must never be lost again. If there are moments of darkness, this may be able to provide you some light. Thank you."
Samhain opens their eyes, reaches for the scroll very carefully, and then reaches into their backpack for a necklace of prayer beads and wraps the prayer beads around the scroll and puts it into their backpack
Nice touch.
and says, "As long as I, as long as I live, I will ensure that no harm befalls this song, and that as many people as possible, if you would like, get to hear it and know what its blessings can give."
She nods and she says, "Although I would like nothing more for this song to be heard, I think this is meant to be heard only by those who are in great need. He will," and she looks at the pseudo-dragon, "he will stay with you until his task is done. Then he will disappear. But in times of need, if you sing this song again, I think he will return to you. I know that he will only do so long as you show the faith that is necessary. As long as you possess it, though, he will always be there if you are in time of need." And mechanically, the impact of this, by the way, is that you can summon this creature. There's basically, you need to do a long rest, but you can summon this creature. And if the need is great, which is sometimes determined by the nature of the need, then the creature will appear as it has here, and will perform its task, which is usually to find something which is deeply hidden, particularly something evil, which is deeply hidden.
So like Samhain has this very brief moment when Arya like says the word faith. Their eyes just kind of like shimmer, like, oh my god, we're having a religious conversation right now. I'm in front of an Asimar. This is really rad. And then just kind of simmers back down a bit and says, "We will do what's in our power to ensure that this evil is defeated. Thank you for trusting us with this.
And she
We
nods.
should head off as soon as possible." And I turn to the others.
And she nods and she says,
It shall be done.
"Thank you for finishing my song." At which point, this is a good moment to pause and welcome everybody who is watching D&D with Viewers, Part 2 of Winter's Splendor, with the amazing Brandon O'Brien and the amazing Triffity Mats and the amazing Echo Alpha _X5. It is great to see all of you in chat watching, and I hope you are enjoying this on a winter's night. And that leads us to, because you'd already been given permission by Captain Stargell, so assuming the party wants to do
If
this,
I
you tell me if
may.
there's anything else you want to do. But
Yes.
but then we're going to move on to the next part of where you were told me you were headed. But go ahead first, Arden.
This is not Arndun, this is Echo Alpha X5. I just wanted to remind
okay.
about the community challenge that's ongoing.
Yes.
For if you want to help give Armin and Ron's channel a bonus and this actual stream over D&D viewers a 2,800 times promotion, then do please consider using your channel points if you have anything between 250 and 2,000 to provide the boost. We are at 39%. We have a total of 16,000 out of 40,250. Why 40,250? I don't know. This is Twitch. We're always bewitched by them. But
Oh,
yes, if you could, please.
Yes, thank you. And I saw that we have 39% raised and 2 days left, which means it might encompass my Tuesday stream, but I'd love to hit that tonight.
Yeah.
We did that last time, but I think last time it was like 20.
No,
we only hit 20,000, right? I think is
Or
what it needed.
it
So.
only encompass tonight, I think, because
No, it says 2 days
left.
left on mine. When I click on it, it says boost this stream 2 days left.
Yeah, it says the mine too, but that would mean night till Tuesday.
Right, yeah. But that's fine. Oh, no, you're right.
Sunday,
That'd be
Monday.
Monday. Yeah.
But I think Emerald,
true.
maybe.
Yeah, that's true. Well, see, I don't know whether Emberwind's happening because of scheduling. Maybe. Anyway, I'll think about that. Okay. Yes, but please do that if you could, and thank you for the reminder.
But I think Artendun wise,
Yes.
I don't think because he gave the scroll over to Sauron, who then took the beans around it.
Mhm.
I is there anything left in the white and gold chest?
The only thing that's left in the white and gold chest now is the
I think
glittering egg.
Yeah, he might actually take that because just because of circumstances that have has occurred, one might never know. It
Okay.
I'll
might
take
be
the wooden snake just in case
Oh, I
it
forgot
comes
about
in
the snake.
handy.
Yes, and the snake too. That's true.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
Did anyone take a marble?
Not so far.
I don't think so, but I can take that as
Uh,
well.
yeah, I'll take one.
Okay.
So we each have one.
Okay.
And then I will turn to Willow, and I'll just say, when we go back downstairs, do you mind humoring me for just a tiny bit?
How so?
Um, these children really trust us, and if there's anything I want to leave in this place as we head off to the city of the dead, it's that they did nothing wrong. They were tricked by a devil, and I want to leave them in the best, most joyful possible feeling that we can this evening. So, do you mind if I just show them your new friend before we leave?
Well, we could have them come up. No, it will not be wise to take them
Definitely
here.
not.
No, I think we should leave the guards here guarding the remaining imp and not bring the children up here until
Ah,
this matter is settled.
Yeah. Could,
But
however, take it to one of the other rooms that is near here.
I don't see what purpose that would serve.
No. Just us and the little dragon and the children, so they could have a little, so they can meet it and being as sovereigns explains that, so they are comforted to know that they are amended and to know that what they have done, we will try prevent it from happening. So and you get you understand my point, do you not?
Um,
Sovereign, help me out.
I
please.
think we've spent a lot of time here, and there are a lot of people who want to go home. And so we shouldn't spend a long time telling the children that we're trying to fix the situation when we're already. We've been telling them that and telling them that and telling them that. I think it would be. I don't mind
Yes, but
letting them.
we have not had any. We have tried various methods, and we have we have sought the cleric. We have written lyrics for this wondrous divine song of that is the singers. Now we have a little pseudo dragon upon us. It will provide a boost of confidence and a boost of spirits that we show them that that we are now we are now in progress to thwart the evil. It only seems appropriate that we do so we can ease their minds.
My thought is this very simply. While we adults owe children our own worry when dealing with things as dark as this, at the very least, they should still feel some joy. I just want them to see it as you're walking out. They don't even need to touch the thing. I just want them to get a glance of it.
That would be fine, and touching
Okay.
it would be up to the dragon whether the dragon wanted to prevent it or not. But I'm perfectly fine with allowing them to see the dragon. And I turn to the dragon and see if it shakes its head or nods or anything.
No, it just seems to, kind of it's still on your shoulder, so it kind of still sort of solemnly regards you. Although you notice that it's actually make an insight check for me, please, Willow.
While
Just
so
check what my
Artendunus
insight
turns
is.
towards the singer
Insight
and
check
asks,
20. The dragon
Plus
hates
5.
us.
The dragon's like, these clowns.
so Artendun turns towards the singer again and asks, does the dragon have a name?
You're asking that of Arya?
Yeah.
That's a 21 for the insight
Arya
check.
says, I do not know. And so you do note, Willow, that it does seem to be like focusing. It's looking at you, but its body seems to be kind of trembling in the direction of the window. I mean, not like it doesn't feel like, please let me go, I'm trapped. But you get the impression it's like,
It wants to get going.
let's
we'll
move.
let the children see it on the way out, but we're not going to bring them up to the room and wait and all that.
Of course.
So, guards, stay and guard the imp and let us proceed.
Okay.
And feel free to kick it.
So as they leave there, I was just thinking about Nuber for Baldur's Gate. He's like, hiya. Oh God, Nuber. Anyway, okay, so they prepare to, so you prepare to leave, and the guards kind of, as they're brought back, because they now come back in, obviously, now that you're done with all the singing stuff, and which allows us to play our music again. And they, as they are looking, sort of look at, kind of down at Chernok, who kind of looks up at you and is kind of like, all right, have fun storming the city of the dead. And the guards kind of look down at the creature and look over at you like,
Yeah, step on it, poke it to death, pour acid on it, boil it alive. Do whatever you want with it. We'll be back.
that's great. None of it's going to work though. You hear as you're like, walking out of the room, and the guards are kind of looking at it somewhat nervously as you depart the room. So you do show the dragon on the way out to the children, who seem excited, although Elzarina seems sort of like, she just may be really kind of, she feels like she's had a night, like Elzarina seems like she's having a hard time. Terenzio, on the other hand, is kind of like, ooh, and you get the impression like you don't hear what he says because you're just like showing it on the way out, as you said. But Terenzio looks like he's kind of like as if he's asking his mom, can I go pet it? Whatever. His mom's like, like, no.
Because I did want to stop briefly
Okay.
by the children.
Okay, you can do that if you want.
Hold yourself.
I let Terenzio very obviously see me roll my eyes.
Okay.
And then I put my hands on Elzarina's shoulders and say, "You've been very strong this evening. You can be stronger still, I know it. Just a few moments more and we'll never have to think about today again. Deal?"
And she nods and says, yeah, I guess so. Is it gonna help you? And she points up at the on the Willow's shoulder, the pseudo dragon.
Yeah, it's rad, isn't it?
And she nods, and Terenzio's like, it's really rad, super rad. Can I have it? I'm just gonna have it and like put it on my shoulders and then run around the whole party, scaring everybody with it. And then
I turn to Terenzio and like stare daggers at him and say, "We already had a deal, didn't we?"
Well, yeah. See, she's much happier now. See? And he kind of points to his sister,
Nope.
who kind of,
Nope. And I put up my hand and say, "Where's the crystal now?"
And he says, it's here. And he kind of hands it over reluctantly.
And I put it between my fingers and spin it again for both of them to see it.
And he's again like, what?
And like at this point, like what time of the day is it at this point?
At this point, we're looking at probably early evening. So like 5 o'clock-ish, 5:30.
So they
winter's
noticed that,
winter's night, right? So 5:30 is,
Yeah.
Good
So
thing.
now that they've noticed that light
In the
actually
morning.
responds even like much differently to it now. It seems far more lustrous. It seems like it's catching moonlight, even though moonlight is not
Yep.
like visible to them. And like
Yep.
I just spin it for them one more time and say, "Keep this and it will give you strength." mark my deal, and when I'm back, just both of you will be as happy as this morning has never occurred. Deal?
And Elzarina nods solemnly, and Terenzio says, Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be fine, right? And he looks up at his mom, and Lady Castellanter looks not... Maybe not pleased is not the right way to put it. Not with you, like, but just so it seems like generally just like has had it with this stuff and is like, says, I think that seems reasonable, Terenzio. In the voice that every parent knows is the, and you will do this now or we'll face the ultimate penalty, you know. And Terenzio kind of hears this and nods. And
I put the crystal back in Terenzio's hand and give him like a very warm smile. And then I get up and I take their mother's hand and say, we will be rid of this evil this evening. I assure you of it. Just give us this one travel and we'll be done with the entire mess.
She says, be safe. If you go to the city of the dead, especially at night, that place is uncomfortable.
Don't worry. Willow will get us out of it.
And she looks over at Willow, and as she looks at Willow, the pseudo-dragon kind of curls its sort of tail and body around, like cat-like, you know, around the back of your neck, with the tail here and the head here. And everyone, you know, and sort of like lies, and just a little puff of smoke comes out of its mouth.
I put my hand up and very gently stroke the scales on its tail.
It's a strange feeling on these scales because you can feel them, but they feel almost like there is a cushion of water. If you've ever seen one of those little waterfall meditation areas where there's like a wall, right, with water running down it, and you ever happen to touch one of those, I know you're never supposed to, but everybody does it, you can feel the kind of, almost like there's a layer basically of water over it, and that's what this feels like. It's definitely not water. When you take your finger away, it's not wet, but there's something buffering over the top of these scales. And as you do this, you hear the slightest, you hear this, and then it sounds like, and you can see just like the slightest puff of smoke come out of its nose, as if it's like purring or the equivalent.
Okay, and I turn and head toward the door because we have talked quite long enough.
All right.
I nod to everyone and follow Willow out the door.
Same, Martin dude? Okay.
Yes.
That leads us to the final episode 3, which is Silent Night, Devil's Light. I just wanted to read out that title because it's fun. So,
please tell me I get to like punch zombies or something.
Well, you're heading now to the City of the Dead, and as you leave and head to the City of the Dead, snow has begun to fall, blanketing the city.
Let us know.
Yes, and it's gotten actually considerably colder as well. You can see your breath forming puffs in the frigid air. There are lamps and lanterns which are magically lit that line the streets of the city in this area, that lights your way to the City of the Dead. But those lights, of course, are not found within the City of the Dead. But the snow which blankets the area, there is a kind of pale moonlight which shines down and reflects off of that snow. And if anyone here or in chat has ever been in snow, you will know that when the moonlight shines down on white snow, it provides a beautiful gleam by which to see. That's often very peaceful, but peaceful is not necessarily how you would describe the City of the Dead. There are numerous houses and mausoleums, some of them very large, even some of them several stories high, even holding the nobles who always want to be higher rather than lower, and so build their houses higher. And then there are a number of places that are for the sort of lower nobles. There are also some government officials that are found here, but there are no paupers' graves to be found in this place. This is where the rich and the powerful ultimately are buried. During the day, and during the summer in particular, the City of the Dead is often used actually as a place where people can spend time. It's almost like an outdoor museum. It is 100% not that way during the winter. And most people that know what they're doing kind of stay away during the wintertime, especially at night. Not what you people are doing, obviously, as you go directly into it. And so as you go into the City of the Dead and you begin to enter that area, and I'm going to shift off of this music, which, while amazing, does not fit. We're not going to have a lovely on an island fair. In fact,
Speaking of the dragon, I name it Dante after Miguel's dog in Coco.
Oh, I see. I was going to
like
say,
that.
are you sure you want the name of Dante for a heavenly creature, though? I'm just saying. I mean, maybe this is the Paradiso of Dante, and maybe that's cool.
Dante's Inferno. Dante is if it's Divine Inferno.
Well, but they're not saying right. But the Inferno. Dante was your poet of hell. At least in that area, he was, not heaven. However, I'm being mostly facetious, and that's completely fine.
It seems evil with evil, Shantans become conquerors.
Lovely, and it seems to have no particular you do that, and its reaction is just cool, right? Like it doesn't seem to have any particular reaction to that. As you do that, perfect is what I'm going to do. Let us move into some forest music. There we go.
Outside and into the forest of the city.
Okay,
of dead.
not forest, more of a graveyard, but I'm fresh out of Greenford Studio graveyard pictures. But no, I wanted something that was a little bit different. Also, this music, I don't know how many of you, has anyone seen, any of you three watched The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe film?
No.
Okay.
Which one?
The Lion, oh, I'm sorry, the more recent one that was, with Weta did it, and it was live action, and it was Liam Neeson was Aslan, and so on.
Okay, then yes.
Okay, so I don't know if you remember when Lucy first comes into the comes into Narnia. This is exactly what this music reminded me of when I first heard it. I will say that film is not perfect, but I'll say this: the casting is dynamite. Like that.
Yes.
That is as good a Lucy as you're ever gonna get. Like dead on what I would have expected. So
Yeah, and Edmund was great.
and even Tumnus
I
is
like,
great.
sorry?
Tumnus was great too. Even yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
What year did the movie came out?
That came out in 2006, 7 maybe.
Oh, okay, Legend of Narnia.
Yeah, there were two films that came out in that series: The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and then Prince Caspian. And then I think that was all they ever did in that series. So, anyway, so when you enter the City of the Dead and you see these mausoleums kind of looming around you, the pseudo dragon Dante, sort of perks up and jumps off of your shoulder, Willow, and begins to hover, and then flies off, not too fast, but flies off in one direction of the graveyard, heading in one particular spot.
I follow, and
okay.
if necessary, I will run to keep up with.
Okay, no, it doesn't
dragon.
fly fast enough that you need to run. You would have to keep a brisk pace, all of you, but other than that, it does that. Sort of, and you have to make your way through various stones and things like that, and it makes its way there. On its way, though, I do want all of you to make perception checks for me, please.
Perception coming up.
I don't think I have.
Oh, right.
Poet of hell or hell of a poet? Both, Rudnell. Where Dante's concerned, that answer is both.
Perception
great
checks. Okay.
What is perception wisdom or?
Yeah, perception is as I completely blank. I think wisdom, not intelligence. Why am I thinking intelligence for a second?
That would be
Yeah.
the skill itself plus the
Yeah, no, it
stats.
was finding what the actual one was. Yeah, it is.
Wisdom is perception is wisdom.
It would be wisdom. Yeah, that's what I thought.
Which means that my roll is actually +2
Hey,
instead
wow.
of 0. So that's actually 18. Wow.
So 18
And
and
I
then
rolled a 22.
and you rolled a 22. You see all. This
Okay,
you just get
so-
night vision of the grave, like wow, you know.
So wisdom plus the proficiency in the skill itself.
If you if you have perception as a proficient skill, otherwise it would just be the wisdom bonus.
Okay.
Willow rolled perception, and then a large neon arrow just pointed right here.
Womp,
Go
womp.
here.
It's basically like it's a arrow on a video game mini map, just like clonking right there.
22.
Wow,
Wow.
everybody's just like pah. So you have this moment where the camera moves from Samhain, who's like, I see, to like Willow and Art and Dune, who are like, we see, like all of a sudden, like they really see. You all hear the sound of what sounds like crunching snow, as if something is padding through the snow in your direction. Several things, actually. All of you hear this, but I would say that Willow and Art and Dune can hear that it sounds like probably 3 creatures, fairly large ones.
So Artenton pulls out his weapon in anticipation there might be some combat ahead of us.
Okay. Anyone else?
I draw 2 dots and wait for like an ideal moment. I'm essentially waiting for more information before I start attacking things.
Okay.
But I have 2 darts ready.
What about you, Willow?
Yeah, I was just deliberating whether to change shape, but I believe I'll keep my human form for the moment and ready my ready one of my spears just in case I need it.
Okay. So you're not going to continue to follow Dante at the moment, right? You're
I'm following Dante.
Still following Dante, okay. Because Dante's not
just-
stopping you. You move along. It's basically going to cross your path. So a few seconds later, you see 3 very large creatures loom into view. You see really their silhouettes against the moon first. Large creatures, and you can see what look like horns coming out of their head. And then you see that they're actually 3 large reindeer. And the reindeer pad across, and you're going to have to stop for a moment to let them pass, because they're actually not coming right at you. They look like they're going to cross over. So you could either keep going and run into them, or attack them, or stop and wait, because they seem to be like they're going to cross over the path that you're going in a moment.
I stop.
I keep following the dragon. These
Okay.
reindeer can get out of my way or get a
Okay.
pat on the nose or whatever they want, but I'm not stopping.
And Art and Dune?
I think that's Trish with their antler speaking now.
These are my
But,
people.
uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. But Art Dune, he is actually gonna take a few steps forward, but stop
Okay.
because he is sort of a bit apprehensive. Is being City of the Dead, after all.
Yes.
And I point my spear back up toward the sky so the reindeer don't think I'm about to attack them.
Okay. So the reindeer, which are not skittish, I mean, a lot of times reindeer, especially, they don't usually show up in Waterdeep, frankly. And so they don't seem to be skittish. And no, one does not have an oddly bright nose that you might even say closed.
I was
I'd
gonna
imagine.
ask that actually.
Exactly. So they sort of, as they see you, pause and wait for you to pass, Willow. And then, for all the world looking like they were, peasants trying to get over a busy thoroughfare in the merchant quarter during, during the summer market season, they then pass over. And as they walk over, you can see their hoof prints in the snow. And they continue to go towards one direction, not the direction that you're going, another direction of the graveyard. And then eventually they pass into the darkness of the evening. But I would like, Willow's not going to be able to make this check because Willow's continuing to move, but I want Artendune and Samhain to make one last perception check for me, please. Well, last for this moment.
13. Not ideal.
7.
Okay. Sounds good. Those were some reindeer back there.
Well, shite.
And you continue to move on, your own footprints crunching in the snow. I would say, therefore, that you're slightly behind Willow, but not so much that you can't see Willow, but it's probably a little bit more, a little bit almost on the edge of your sight. So that Willow probably sees this first as you are moving along. You can see, as you get closer, that Dante seems to be making a beeline for a particular area of stones. I'm going to ask you to make a perception check for me, Willow, but this one is at advantage.
Can I just say that Willow now is beginning to provide the reason behind Kevin MacLeod's Willow in the Lights?
Oh, which is such a great song, too. It's one of my favorites of his.
I'll be here now.
Do I need to roll again?
So wow. So these rolls, I just want to be clear that these people
Here,
could not
roll at advantage. First roll 20.
right. These people could not roll their way out of a paper bag last time, and this time they've just been like critical. Clearly something has happened.
Arlen,
Yes.
that just makes me wonder how Roderick's gonna fare on the first.
I know.
scene.
It's your listen. It's your own fault. You're using them all up. No. So what you see in front of you is that Dante is heading towards not just a particular group of stones, but a particular statue. And you can see, as you get close to it, and you probably arrive, I'd say, maybe 20 seconds or so, 25 seconds before Samhain and Artendune do. You can see, and the pseudo-dragon comes to this thing, and then sort of flies around it once, excuse me, and then comes back to your shoulder, and alights on your shoulder. And you can see that this is a statue which depicts a little girl with wings. And she is holding a candelabra with 9 candles. And you can faintly feel Dante shivering a bit. Shaking or shivering a bit. And so you're now looking at this statue, and Samhain and Artendune, now you arrive, and you can see Willow is there, Dante on her shoulders, looking at this, what I've just described, this statue of a little girl with wings.
Wings?
Is
That's not
there-
in this story.
Is there any kind of inscription on the plinth?
On the
And
plinth,
what is the expression on the girl?
the girl's expression, her eyes are closed, and the girl's expression seems, I guess you would say, serene. There is no plinth and no inscription on it. It's literally just she is on like a little bit of a raised thing, but there's no sign or any kind of information. But when you start looking, I'm going to ask you to make another perception check. The others can do this as well if they want, as you're looking carefully at the statue.
Yes.
There was a investigation check.
That's right. No. What did I say? Perception, not investigation. Let me think about that. Yeah, perception. I want perception. Well, it had to happen someday.
I used up my good rolls,
Yeah.
and so did Echo.
Well,
Oh Lord.
You're all like,
We
what
see
happened?
Suddenly it got darker. More snow fell.
Yeah, suddenly the
You
snow
had to
just...
jinx us by talking about it.
Yeah,
Marvin.
that's what happened.
Wait, do we still have the inspiration? Because I believe I still do.
You may have an inspiration still left over. That's possible.
Yeah, from Lone Wolf. And
Normally, I
believe
wouldn't let you do it,
some-
but in this case, I'll allow you to use that if such exists, Echo. You can use it here.
And someone, I think, too, has still his.
I don't know. I don't know.
Brandon?
Did I
Solid
get
is.
a...
I think
If I got-
everyone
If I got
was
an inspiration last session, I used it.
I think it was used by Samhain, but not by you, Artendune. I think you did get one, but it
Okay.
was not used.
Okay, but I'm gonna say mine.
Oh, you're
Lord
gonna
knows
save
I
it?
need
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Duh. This is the city of the dead.
It's fine. You're just,
No,
bunch
it
of
is
dead.
not.
Okay, so you were standing in front of this statue then.
Okay. I want to do something absolutely stupid.
Okay. Oh,
Okay.
sorry. I beg your pardon, Brennan. One thing I wanted to note. In front of the statue, I mentioned that it was elevated, right? There is snow, but the snow does look. This perception check was not about this, but it is. I did want to make sure that you knew that you can see that there is the snow in front of the statue is elevated as if there is also something in front of the statue. I did want to mention that. That's not a perception requirement. That's just something you would see.
Okay. This does not interrupt the stupid thing that I had planned
Okay.
the first time, which was I want to and you have to let me know if this is an insight check or an investigation check, but I think it's an insight check.
Okay.
I have a hunch that the reindeer were either around here or came nearby, and I want to know if I can like find where they came from.
Okay, I would.
How much is your perception, Samrain?
My wisdom bonus is +2, but I have an insight bonus +4.
This is not an insight check. No.
Yeah.
This would be investigation.
Yeah.
But I would also allow you. I don't think you're going to have this, but if anyone has proficiency in survival, I would also, or nature, I would allow a check on those fronts also.
I have,
Okay.
I have nature.
I was going to
but-
hope that Willow does, yes.
yes, but I
have
didn't
survival on
Notice
3.
anything about the reindeer?
You did not know. But you were
So-
focusing your attention, though, on Dante, in fairness. Like, you know,
Right.
you went by and were like, hey, what's up? But, you know.
So I don't know that
I
it
see
makes sense
nothing.
for me to roll about.
So survival would be
Reindeer.
what exactly? That would be dexterity, wouldn't it be, Aaron?
Survival
no,
is-
Survival, I think, is... Oh, God,
oh.
con, I think. Let me see what survival is. I don't know if it's wisdom or con. Survival is wisdom.
Okay, that's gonna be
My bad, not con.
10 on mine because I have 3. I have 3 in survival.
Okay. So, yeah. Hey, what's up, Shadowed? Happy holidays, man. Good to see you.
Shadow, what's up?
Hello, hello.
He shadowed.
I
Good
hope
to
you're
see
doing
you.
okay, man.
Shadow, I might need a new weapon again because I'm liking the Santa flail.
So, yeah, you don't see, there doesn't seem to be anything in particular. You don't find any tracks, Solin, nearby or around this thing, although it's quite possible that the snow would have blanketed it at this point, but you don't note anything in particular other than just, as I said, the raised area in front of the statue.
I want to lightly scrape my boot along the top of the snow because I don't really want to touch what might be underneath it, but I want to uncover what might be underneath the snow.
So, underneath the snow, you don't have to go too far down. It's not much snow. You see that there is a circular stone slab, and it turns out to be about 2 feet, roughly or so, in diameter. There are no markings on it, but it's definitely elevated above the ground around it. So the statue is up on its little, little stand,
Dais.
basically. Yeah. It's I guess on its dais technically, and then the circular slab in front, about 2 feet in diameter, is elevated about the same amount as the stand on which the statue stands. Stand.
Does it seem to move when Willow touches it?
No, does not. I'm glad, Shadow. That's good.
Okay, so when the tale of the wooden doll, when the man took her out to the city of the dead, he sat at a circle embedded in the ground, an altar unmarked and unnamed, which sounds very similar to this stone circle here.
It does.
Thank you, the Loophole King. May all your rolls be crits as well. And thank you for all the files. I appreciate it. And hello, Harlequin. Greetings and belated happy holidays. Welcome, everybody.
And people who are wondering, we have a community challenge to promote the channel. Well, to promote the stream 2,800 times as described on the community challenge. If you have anything between 250 points and 2,000, then you, I believe the inspirations are over to buy.
Yeah, I think they've both been used. At least one of them has been.
Okay, so yeah. If you don't want to do it on modifications on any other modes or anything, just consider dropping the 250 to 2,000 in their community challenge. Because D&D and tabletop are the best games in the whole wide world and the whole universe.
This is true.
This is true.
So
This is tabletop.
yes. Again, like, you know, you started with Batman as like, I'm Santa. You do what you want. Okay.
They endorse ever.
Okay. So yes. So Willow said that, so I'll let you continue to think about it.
Pardon me.
Go ahead, Son.
So, like, I say this aloud to Willow. Two things confuse me. One is that if this is the unmarked, unnamed altar in the story, it would be very difficult to tell if someone lit a fire here recently. And second, there's no mention of wings anywhere in the story, if I recall. I'm looking at it now. I don't remember that. Why this statue?
Make an investigation check for me, Son.
Well,
It's related to what you just asked.
Sauron, could I have a little look at the
Investigation is 0. So 10.
Okay. Yeah.
It looks like a statue.
Well, yes, but the wings, though, because you had mentioned those specifically, do look spindly and webbed, almost like a bat's wings.
I climb up onto the dais and touch them.
Okay, when you touch the... It's funny, too. You're like, ah! Just do that now. So when you climb up on the dais and touch the wings, the candles in the candelabra, which looked like they were made of stone, begin to light up one after the other. No particular order, don't worry. It's not a Simon Says game. They begin to glow a vivid, angry orange. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, until the 9 candles are all glowing orange.
And suddenly we have turned into the Angel of Demons. Somebody call upon Robert Langham.
I turn back to the others and say, okay, admittedly, that was my fault, but this is a clue, right? Please
Well,
tell
let
me
us
this
hope
is
it
a clue.
does not come to more than a clue, but we are here within the City of Dead, so...
Can I tell if anything other than... Can I tell if something else has changed about our immediate vicinity as a result of this?
What are you looking at in your immediate vicinity? Like, I mean, I should say how. Like, are you just kind of spinning, looking, or are you, like, feeling, or, like, or are you focusing on a particular area?
Essentially, can I sense if something has changed elsewhere?
Then I will ask you to make... I'll ask you to make a perception check for that one, then.
And
Perception.
Arcana skill, that would be an indication of anything magic?
You could definitely check that, yes. And Arcana is based on intelligence, so you could do that.
Okay, I would actually do that because I have high Arcana and intelligence at the same
Okay.
time. So. At that be advantage already, compadre.
Right, so my perception is 12.
Okay.
Very nice.
You don't
And mine
think,
is Arcana-
Son, that you see anything in particular?
Oh,
Dang.
28 on Arcana check.
Wow. Yeah, there
I
is
just want
absolute...
one nat 20 this game.
Yeah,
Please,
no,
game.
sorry, that you don't really get the sense of it, but Artendune, yes, there is absolutely magic which is radiating, and you can almost feel it like waves, really. Now, you are not someone with incredible magical ability to be able to determine. You're a fighter. You don't spend time doing this. But you definitely can feel this sensation of almost a magnetic pull towards this area where you are. And it definitely intensified when the candles lit.
Well, what you have done has suddenly stirred. Since greater sense something, some form of dark magic stirring. Could he sense the direction from where it's coming?
No. Except that it's from this area somewhere, but no, it was not directional. The area of this, I should say, the area of the statue and the circle in front of it, definitely somewhere from there, but no, nothing more specific than that.
Okay, so do you have a map of the hole, or is it just?
I don't have one. No.
Okay.
I don't. It's there are gravestones around the area, and there are a number of little mausoleums. There are other statues too, but they all seem to be more, I don't know, in line of they're standing up with people with their arms crossed, things like that. This particular statue seems kind of off on its own a little bit.
So I come back off the statue, and I guess I just get prepared for a fight, I suppose.
Okay.
How far is Willow?
Oh, Willow's right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say.
Also standing by the statue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm guessing unless Willow went somewhere else that I don't know, but I believe so.
No, I'm still trying to figure out what to do here, and
Artender would look
We
at
don't really-
Dante to see if he is reacting to anything.
Dante does look
he's
like
in his-
it's been sort of shivering for a little while. I think it's fair to say that.
right.
Is he restricted to Willow because he sang a song, or would he be able to climb upon my shoulder or Artender's shoulders?
I think that depends on how Willow wants to handle it. He did seem to choose Willow as his, mistress to control or to decide what he does. Although, really, it's more sort of like an affinity for it more than it is like you're not ordering him. He's not a pet, right? But has sort of an affinity, I guess, for Willow. Although he's non-hostile to any of you, but.
Yeah, I'm not having any great ideas on how to break this portal connection other than simple vandalism. I'm feeling tempted to just try to take the statue down with ropes or something. But maybe quenching the candelabra would be a good first step. I take up some snow and throw it on the candelabra, see if that puts out the fire.
When it hits the hold on. When it hits the candelabra, the orange glow, the snow melts on each of the tips of these things.
Well, that is most ominous.
I was waiting for
Yes, indeed.
crap.
Well, I'm a high elf, man, so I have more dignified manners.
I turn to Willow and I say, a silly thing just came to mind. I'm bad at puzzles, right? I trust you more with these things than I do myself. I've been aching over the story the entire time.
Yes.
It ends with the girl remembering the puppet maker's kind cornflower eyes and longing for their cool, dowsing touch. And I can't help but think that that's a kind of... It's either something clearly blue, something almost frighteningly blue, or just simply some kind of water. And I've been kicking myself for a while now, trying to figure out where we'd find it, why it would come into play. And I feel like that's supposed to be here.
The scarf that I bought at the market today was blue shot with gold threads, and it seemed very special when I touched it. I could try dousing the candelabra with that, suffocating the flames with it.
I wouldn't
Well,
want you to
then-
lose something you paid coin for just on a hunch of mine.
I didn't pay much for it, and it's certainly more important to put out this fire.
Certainly,
So
it's
I
more
will
important
scoop up
to-
a bunch of snow again, even though that did not do any good. Scoop up a bunch of snow in the scarf,
Okay.
and I will bring it over to the candelabra and put the scarf down on to try and smother the flames.
When you put the scarf on it, the gold embroidery in it, right, suddenly flares, and there is this hissing sound, and then the scarf bursts into flames, but also the candelabra cracks in half and
Awesome.
falls to the ground. And when it hits the ground, the 2-foot circle that's in front of the thing also cracks, and there's a huge puff of dark smoke. And when the smoke clears, you see something new.
Dun dun dun.
It is a large
What?
it is a large creature that has arrived and is standing on top of the circle, of the now cracked circle that's there. It is dressed basically there's a sort of short cape. There is it has I guess you would call it a sort of a tunic, not a tunic of sorts, but like kind of a shorts and a belt around it. Its legs are covered by golden greaves with what looks like skulls in front of them. And more notable than all of this is its purple tail, its pointed purple ears, and coming from its chin, what looks like spiked, almost thick hair at the bottom. And it looks around and it says, "Who has destroyed this place? Speak now, and perhaps I will spare you." His voice rumbles, and Dante, for the first time you hear, and kind of like almost pulls back.
And I say,
the
before
smoke
you
clears
start
and
asking questions, it would be polite to introduce yourself.
and you see this.
No,
The
why?
creature steps forward
Oh
and
boy.
it says, "The one who has summoned me is who I am interested in finding. I am Koluchki. I am the avatar and the harbinger of Asmodeus. Where is the one called Elkaterina?"
Oh, I'm sorry. That was a wrong message. It wasn't meant for you. Apologies. You can return to whence you came. It was just an entire misunderstanding.
"Bring her
on-
forth, halfling, and I may not cut your head farther to the ground." And you see suddenly this halberd that it has by its side, sting, and it sort of glows in the moonlight, and you see his muscles rippling up and down this creature, and it glares down at you balefully.
So I put my hands behind my back just so I can make sure that I have one dot in each hand. And I say, I guarantee you, you do not have to be that mad. It was entirely an error, clerical mistake on our behalf on this side of the realms. It will be sorted out immediately, and you and your lord will find your way to this plane momentarily. But in the meantime, it would be nice if you went back to where you came from.
And so it looks at you again balefully, and it says, "Where is Elzarina? You will bring Elzarina to me now."
No, I won't.
And he sort of looks at you and he says, and then as a slight cruel smile says, "Then you will be the first sacrifice to Asmodeus's will." And he
That
brings
won't
his
happen
weapon.
either.
He brings his weapon up. I would like everybody, please, to roll initiative for me. All right, so here we go, yo. Here's the turn order that I'm going to pop up. Let me pop up some combat music.
Well, at least we get to fight now instead of doing all this hard thinking stuff. Where is my
Right.
initiative?
So my dex.
Right, which indeed is dexterity driven, Echo, in case you were going to ask.
Yeah, it must
Okay.
just be dex. Okay.
7.
7, all right.
And 13.
I wanted to
13?
move
Okay.
I really wanted to move as early as possible before this thing.
Before the weapon comes down, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, everyone is
Okay.
so.
We're saving all of the nat 20s for the actual combat show.
Oh yeah, no, I mean I figured as
that
much.
must be it.
Yeah.
So is let's see. Give me one sec. Okay. I need, please. What is your raw dexterity score, Solon? Just not the bonus, just the score.
Oh, my raw dex is 17.
Okay. And Willow, yours?
15.
Okay. So that means that you are going to get to go before Willow. So that would be great news if Willow was attacking you, right? That would be really great.
Brilliant.
Tremendous work, everyone. Good job. All right. But look, I mean, Arden Dune got a little better, so maybe that'll work out. But unfortunately, not before this bearded devil goes. The bearded devil will indeed get to go first.
All right. Pro tip: I think anyone attacking the devil should use magic weapons if they have them.
Indeed, just ask Roderick.
So this creature brings down, and it's going to do it on the, insolent Samhain, who, was like talking smack, and brings his glaive, which is really what this is, although not the glaive from Krull, more's the pity, but brings this glaive down upon you. And that is going to be, I don't know about that, 10? That's probably not enough to hit you, right?
Oh no.
No, that's not? Okay. So the glaive misses, and as you're feeling rather smug for a moment, you notice that the hairs in its beard, those thick hairs, seem as if they are alive. And it brings the glaive down, and then its head, and swings its beard essentially in your direction, each of which reaches out as if to stab you. And so it attacks
Okay.
with its beard, and that is a 16.
That hits.
All right. You are going to take 5 piercing damage from those things. And I need you, please, to make a Constitution saving throw for me as you feel something burning entering your wounds.
Okay. What's my con again? +2.
Yeah, better known as Weird Beard. Exactly, Rocco. Okay.
Okay, that's a 3.
A 3.
I just want to ask to clarify though, was that poison?
Yes. It is
Right,
indeed poison.
because indeed I have advantage on saves against being frightened or poisoned.
Hell yeah, make that second roll then. This is absolutely poison. What you really meant to say was...
Oh dear.
Was... Yeah, that's what you meant to say. So you're just kind of like, so you feel this burning sensation, but then you pull back and the burning fades from the wound. And you would say that this creature maybe looks mildly displeased, that, it did not have the effect that it was hoping it would have on you, apparently.
Faith conquers.
Yes, and so Samhain escapes the worst of it. That is going to lead us to Artendune, as this thing is standing on top of, on its sturdy feet, on top of this stone altar, having just hit your companion with its beard.
And I'm being devoured by my sad hat again.
You're protecting yourself with that, yes. So,
No.
you're up, Artendune.
Okay.
And Solon is on deck.
Oh, bloody hell. Okay, so... Well, I can't do anything but make an attack move then. Let's see, so... Armin, help me out. I am so automatic, I have no idea.
Well, so you're rolling, you're going to roll an attack. You look at your weapon on your sheet that you're going to be using. And then you're going to have, you'll have the weapon. You're just adding the,
Attack?
the attack of the weapon, plus whatever it is to a d20, because that should calculate your strength bonuses and all that stuff, on that sheet. 13 is going to hit, yes.
Okay, that will be a...
And then it should show you what the damage is on that too.
Yeah, so 1d8 plus 5. That's 9.
Okay, now it does, you do hit it, but you notice that the damage, because you are dealing with a normal sword, right? Is that correct? The sword
Rapier. A rapier.
Rapier, yeah. So this thing, you notice, is not as affected by that as you might expect. It is definitely hit and definitely sort of, grunts in pain, but it's not as strong as you might have expected. So you are standing on one side of it now, on the side of the circle. Are you going to stay engaged with it for the moment, Artendune?
Yes, because while I may not have the best weapon to attack it, not to damage it, the others may have a more advantage, as does perhaps Dante. So.
All right, then that's going to lead us to Solon, and Willow is going to be on deck. Solon, this thing just hit you with its beard, and you didn't like it.
I did not. While it's still close enough, essentially, to be able to strike with its beard in the first place, I am going to... right, so I want to be absolutely sure about this thing.
Okay.
Because this is an extension of the very first time I've ever played a monk.
Okay.
I have a feat here called Martial Arts, which says that whenever you use the attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon on your turn, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't drawn my short sword yet.
You're in the right spot then, so you're doing what you should be doing. So you can hit it, and then you can attack it, and then as a bonus action, attack it again, essentially with that unarmed strike, so long as you continue to Bruce Lee it, as opposed to using a weapon.
I'll be proud of you.
No, I ask because my short sword is a monk weapon.
Oh, okay. So, so read that out to me then again on that martial art.
When you use the attack action with an unarmed strike or a monk weapon on your turn, you can make one unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Oh yes, then you can use That's fine then. Then you can use sword followed by an unarmed strike with your other hand. Yes.
Cool.
Yep.
So
wouldn't be able to do that, by the way, if it was two-handed. In that event, you wouldn't be able to do that. But since you're not using a shield, you can essentially, Bruce Lee plus sword.
Yes.
Also, Brandon, if you're using key points, that would make it count as a magical attack.
That's true. Yep.
I see. As in, if I use my key points for any other reason, or if I just use a key point to make an attack a magical attack?
I think the latter. If you're, the key point would allow you to make it magical. And we're talking about I believe, either the monk weapon or the unarmed strike. So, how many key points do you have, by the way?
I have 2.
Okay.
Which is why I want to be absolutely sure about how I use them.
So you could use 1 key point, which would be on each. So you make the attack, that's 1 key point. If you want to then make a bonus action, that 1 key point would also be used on this. Now, important to note, you do have to decide whether you're using the key point before you make the attack. You can't wait till you see whether you hit to use it.
Okay, right. So I do not need a key point for martial arts. So that's 1 sword strike and 1 unarmed strike. So I will.
So you could use a key point to. You could use a key point to trigger it, and then use a key point to make it magical. That would then use up your key points. But you could do that if you.
Yes. So.
And I'll also say, Brandon, in that event, I would allow both the sword attack and the unarmed strike to both be magical for the 1 single key point, if you were to do that.
Oh ho! Good, because that's what I wanted to do.
Okay. I thought you might.
Right. So, that means that I will slash with the sword first.
Okay.
Right at the neck, which is +5 to hit. So.
Right at the waving beard. No.
That's
you rolled,
not what.
I was gonna say 1 do plus 5. I don't know.
What was that?
I saw 1. I'm like, oh no, and then I'm like, wait, what does that even mean? 1 do plus 5. Yeah, exactly.
Lord.
1 do what? 7. Okay.
That didn't hit.
That did not hit, sadly. But you still can have your bonus thing.
Right, so I'll do an unarmed strike then, which again is
Scooby roll.
20 plus 5.
Oh my goodness.
So here's where we get into even more totally interesting things, because this is also the first time I'm playing a halfling.
Oh, that's right. You have halfling luck. You can re-roll that.
I do.
That saved Cade like multiple times, John Helfer's character. Like multiple times. Man, that luck though.
11, which I doubt hits.
11.
It doesn't hit.
It does not hit. Nope.
Okay. Can I still move?
Yes, you can definitely do that because there's a bonus action on that other one. Unfortunately, you've used your key points now, but you can definitely move.
Well, I still have 1 key point because
No,
I just
1 key point was to make the thing that allowed you to, like attack twice. You know, attack once and then.
martial arts doesn't need a key point.
I thought martial arts did need a key point. No.
Nope, doesn't say so.
Oh, all right. Well, then in that case, the 1 key point was just to make it magical, so you have 1 left. Okay, that's fine then. I thought that the martial arts required a key point to trigger. My bad.
If I were doing a flurry of blows for
Yeah.
more hits.
That's what I'm thinking of. Okay. That's
So
fine.
I'm going to step. I don't want to get too far away. So I'm just going to go 25 feet back.
20. Okay. So now here's the thing. If you're going to move, you're currently engaged in combat with it. If you want to move, you can shift back 5 feet. So essentially that means you're disengaging.
Oh.
Doesn't mean you're disengaging like running away, but you're disengaging. If you go a 25 feet, that's a full move. It can get an attack of opportunity when you do that. So
I'll just take the 5 then.
Yeah, you can shift back, and you definitely can kind of leap back without it attacking you. So you do that, which leads us to Willow. I want to point out, just so you know, that Dante will go after you do, Willow, but Dante has its own will, so you don't know totally what Dante's going to do, and you can't. I guess you could ask it to do something, but it decides what it wants to do. But it will go after you.
None of us gonna know what Dante's gonna do.
That's correct.
Right. I will. I
It's a
believe
mystery in
magical weapons will be most effective, and so I will cast Thorn Whip.
Okay.
Um,
Thorn Whip.
and that is.
It's time to give it whiplash.
Take the whip.
Whiplash.
Okay, so it's basically just a magical attack plus 5. So I'll do 20. Yes.
That will absolutely hit. 21 is a hit.
Right. Sadly, that will only do a d6 of damage, but that's certainly better than nothing.
It's true. And that thorn whip does count as magical, I believe, having been created magically.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Could be worse.
5 damage. Absolutely, it takes all of that, and it does not like it.
And I say to the pseudo dragon, who I do not call Dante because I haven't asked it what its name is, and I just say, "Please help us if you can."
And so, as if hearing you, or perhaps it was intending to do this anyway, it leaps forward to the attack, flies up into the air, and let's see, flies towards this creature, which seems particularly angry at the sight of this thing. And let's see.
Angry like a Norwegian.
Oh,
standard
Arvin,
organ
I
rock.
forgot to say, with a thorn whip attack, also another effect is that if the creature is large or smaller, which I assume this is,
Yes.
you pull the creature 10 feet closer to you.
Oh, it's a
when you do
classic
that.
scorpion. Get over here. Okay, so you pull it toward, like, off of. Now, actually, this is very important. Are you pulling it off the stone? So,
If
because
I
you're
can.
standing around the circle, right? So here's the thing. You
Right,
can.
I'm standing at a lower level than it. I
That's
was
right.
throwing my whip up toward it.
That's
and
what I
so
figured.
the natural reaction would be to pull it down.
So you can do that. Here's the thing. If you pull it towards you, you can sidestep. What it means is that it will be off the stone. It will basically, like, if it works, stumble towards you and off the stone thing. It'll then be behind you. Now, all three of you can just spin and engage it at that point. I want to make sure you're cool doing what I just described. Like, that's what you want to do.
Yes, I definitely want to make it off balance if I can. And if I can make it trip and stumble, that would be, excellent.
Okay.
But I am pulling it toward me. It already attacked someone else, so hopefully that doesn't just mean that I'm pulling its glaive immediately toward me.
Is there a saving throw associated with the thorn whip, or is that just automatic?
It says, if the attack hits, creature takes 1d6, and if the creature is large or smaller, you pull the creature up to 10 feet closer to you.
So it doesn't say anything about a saving throw.
So when you do that, there is a great cracking sound, like as it goes off the stone, and it stumbles past you. And when it turns around, it looks like begins to pant heavily, like it is like it looks somehow lesser behind you now.
Awesome.
And so now the, as I mentioned, Dante, or whatever you wish to call it, leaps from your shoulder and to the attack. And it comes in and lashes its tail at this thing's neck and hits. Let's see how much it's actually going to do.
This pseudo dragon is really better than me. Oh my lord.
Okay. Now it's got to make a...
Burn it.
Very like me. Toasty.
Let's see. That's
Perfect.
okay. So...
Damn it. Ah, damn you, Armin.
Okay. So this thing hits. It definitely damages it. You also notice that the creature now looks sort of like puts its hand to its neck and is kind of moving with more of an effort. Dante may have done something to it when it hit. And it then sort of flies away as the, bearded devil sort of swipes at it. And then it brings its weapon down and attacks you, Willow. Apparently, because we're back up to the
Fair
top of the
enough.
round. Apparently, it did not like being pulled off of being hit with a whip. So first, it starts with its glaive. That is a horrific miss, I think. 2 plus, so 7 is not going to hit you, I assume.
It is not.
And then brings the beard. And the beard's not going to do it either. I think a 9 is not going to hit you either, is it? What a terrible round for the bearded devil. I guess that's what happens when it's, something happens to it with Dante and it's pulled off of its, off of its stone. Okay, so Ardendune, you are now up. Now, this creature is not, is still able to defend itself, but it definitely seems weaker than it was.
Okay, that means I'm gonna have to ask you, Armin, for info on a cantrip that I have that says True Strike.
Mm-hmm.
So far from my read, it seems to be of divinity, of divine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So True Strike, as a cantrip, basically means that you are using it, and I think it's one action. So you use it to basically get advantage on the creature that you're fighting next turn. So you can use this point, basically get a kind of insight into it, right? Into its defenses.
Into its defenses, yeah.
Yep. But that, so
And
you can do that, but it takes a full action, and it means that it will take effect so that next turn you would get advantage on that attack roll.
And it was being Mr. Amadeus and his pet, wasn't it? Sort of. It was him versus us. It wasn't a pet. He had a pet, didn't he?
Well, this creature that you're fighting is not Asmodeus, or frankly, we wouldn't be having this conversation. You'd be dead.
Well, yeah, but the Harbinger.
But it's this creature claimed. In fact, I think it said that its name was Kaluchki, and that it was the Harbinger of Asmodeus.
Okay, I misunderstood. It was 2. Yeah. Okay. Right. So then it. Okay, we're gonna go with the cantrip.
Okay.
So that will be cantrip. Okay, so he sends his hand. Well, he sends his hand points at the target, at Kamuchi, or however you pronounce it.
Kaluchki.
Kaluchki.
Okay, so you do that, and that just works. That just succeeds. So you now next turn will have advantage against this creature. So you can move if you wish, but otherwise this is setting up for your attack next turn.
Actually, he will move because he will move to the side, so he could be on the flanking side while he focuses on the Salwen and Willow more.
Okay.
As he seems to be.
Okay, you can do that. Yeah, you just start taunting it right now. Okay, that sounds like a plan. That leads us then to Sawin. Sawin, what do you want to do to this creature that has been apparently somewhat weakened by its current circumstances?
So I would have to move closer to it if I wanted to.
Yeah, you'd have to
attack
re-engage
it now
it.
because it.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. But you're only 5
so,
feet away. I mean, you can easily do that.
Am I still only 5 feet away?
Mm-hmm. Because the creature, when it was pulled towards Willow's direction and went past her. So it's still, it's like 5 feet, but in the other, behind you instead of in
fair
front
enough.
of you. Yeah.
Cool. So which way is it? So which way is Kaluchi facing?
He's facing all of you because you turned around to face him.
Okay,
so
cool.
he is facing.
All right. Cool. So
Well, towards them, while Arthur went to the side.
Yeah. But right, that's right. That's right. Basically, so Willow and right, but you didn't get all the way behind him though, Arden. You could just get to the side.
No, not behind, to the side.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So I will get back up to it, and I will slash at it again, and then after that make another unarmed strike. So roll for the slice first. 15.
Okay. That will hit.
Okay, let's do that. Um,
That's more like it.
so 1d6 plus 4.
And using key points or not on this?
No key points on
Okay.
either of these attacks.
Okay.
So this does 6.
Okay. Seems to take all of that. It was definitely not taking all of this damage before. It seems to be taking it now.
Nice.
Okay, nice. And I kind of like wink to Willow just as I smack it in the face with the back of my fist.
Do you do the thing where you like do this and then do the extra like the extra little like thing at the very end?
Adios.
You know.
Go away. Go away.
Right. So
Oh,
that's
man.
another.
You're not worthy of our time.
12, which I imagine misses.
12 will not hit. Yeah.
Right. So I just kind of like, just weirdly, right just in front of its face, and then I'm just gonna like, get ready for whatever it does next, essentially. So that's the end of my turn.
Okay. So you make it look like you've tended it, right? Like just like, you know, like. Something.
Yeah, that was all planned. I just wanted to taunt you a little bit.
All right, that sounds good. That is going to lead us to Willow. Is up now. Willow, what would you like to do? You're able to see that this thing has definitely more affected than it was before.
Well, that's great, but I don't think I'm going to do a lot better than Thorn Whip, and it's a cantrip, so I can do this all day long.
Mm-hmm.
And I will.
Okay.
Oh, all the whiplash.
Dang.
Wham!
All right. That you just carve it around its neck. Now, the way
Okay.
that I handle critical hits in my games, as you may or may not know, is that you do maximum damage, which everyone's always happy about until the enemy crits and does maximum damage to you. But you do maximum damage, so whatever your whip would do, max
6.
of that level. So 6. So it takes all of it. And then now, here's the question. So again, it's on your level at the moment. Do you wish to pull it like behind you and back onto the thing, or what do you-
No,
Okay.
I want
So-
to leave it on the ground.
Okay, so you just wrap it in like, all right. So it kind of stumbles forward, but it does not. You don't pull it further.
I mean, if I can pull it so it falls over.
That you cannot do. That's a whole other thing you'd have to manage. Thornwhip can pull
Okey-doke.
you in your direction. But you already got a very strong. I think the Thornwhip had a
I'm
pretty
pretty happy
powerful
so
effect there.
far,
Yeah, I would
yes.
say so. Okay, now you're staying movement-wise in range, like engaged with it. You could disengage by a few, 5 feet, shifting 5 feet away if you wanted, but you don't have to.
No, I will move about so I'm not just a standing target, but
Okay.
I will not move out of I will not be disengaging.
Okay. So it is Dante's turn, and Dante circles around again, and this time tries to bite the creature, but not successfully. The devil sort of, dodges out of the way, and then angrily, let's see, who is it going to attack?
Evil.
It is going to. I think it still doesn't like you, Willow. I think it's still really unhappy with how this is all going, because you've hit it twice. So it is going to again try to hit you. Wow. Critically misses 2 times in a row. Good God. It's just like, it is not, this has not been one of its better performances. Okay, Art and
Now,
Dune.
better performances. It's been a best performance.
It's a great performance, yeah, for you guys. Art and Dune, you were up next, and you have, of course, your advantage queued up now to attack it if you wish.
I do. So that means I will know sort of some of the defenses. I will actually take a moment to engage him, as I don't have any other choice, and add in Lone Wolf's inspiration.
Okay. The inspiration has arrived. Well, actually,
Indeed.
you've already got advantage on this though, so there's not really any point to inspire. You could do that next turn instead of using a turn to get True Strike. You could just be inspired by Lone Wolf next turn. You could do that.
Oh well. Okay, so advantage that'll be that would be D20 plus 5, but that would be. Would it be a +1, or how would it go?
No, it would be whatever your weapon that you because you're attacking with your same weapon that you did it before, right? So it'd be
So that's a +5.
yeah, that'll be the same one.
Oh,
Yeah, the only difference is that you're getting an advantage on this. So you're rolling twice and taking a higher result. That's all.
okay.
Which is, pretty big difference. Okay.
So
17 or
24.
Well, I'm guessing you want the 24, and that will hit.
No, I just want the lowest one.
I'm on God mode. I want to increase.
Okay, let's see. Just to make certain I do it correctly.
I continue to maintain that advantage and disadvantage is the single most elegant and important combat mechanic added by 5e. It
Yeah, I
changes
love
the
it.
way that combat operates. It's a simple thing, but it has huge impacts. All right, so that is 6 damage. Again, this creature takes all of it and seems to be kind of like, sort of almost a little groggy. Okay, that is that. And then you're going to stay engaged with it. Are you, Artendon?
Artendun is gonna step backwards.
Okay, just the 5 feet again to avoid attacks of opportunity, I assume.
Yes, and while he is on the side of the
Right. Yep.
Colucci, whatever.
Yep. You got it right. Okay. Samhain is up. Willow is on deck. Samhain, this thing has been taking it on the chin, bearded and otherwise, as of late.
Right. So, I'm in the order that I plan to do this thing. Is I will make another slash with my short sword, make an unarmed strike, and then spend a key point to do flurry of blows to do 2 more unarmed strikes.
Ooh, wow.
Could I just add something to that? You could always make a pet go ahead and make an attack roll. He's right beside you, named Santa-chan.
I assume you were channeling Santa-chan in doing this. Like, I assume,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. This is that moment, right? In every Once Upon a Time in China Part 3, probably. Like, the teacher just invests you with, like, I feel the presence. Okay. Dig it.
Right.
I'm
So
here for
for
it.
the slash first, 22. Which is 1d6 plus 4. Nine.
Wow. Kabam. That's quite a slash. Okay.
Then first unarmed strike. $15.
Hit.
Which is
It says on
1d4 plus 4.
Okay.
Just a,
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Entire 8.
Okay.
Oh, so let's do that. Let's do that. No, let's do that round 2.
we're at 54% of the community challenge people. Let's
Yes,
keep it up.
let's keep it up.
22,000.
19.
Hit.
Ooh,
Man, it's quite a turn.
we're on fire. Toasty.
6.
Okay. Takes that. Looking very hurt.
And 14.
Hit.
Okay, I didn't expect that to hit.
Yeah. Just, but it does hit.
Damn, all this rolls, man. Rolling,
6.
rolling.
You just like slash and it just goes flying backwards on that last blow and slams onto the altar. I have this image of you doing that and being like, oh, like as as you drop it, he goes flying back, lands on his back with a shout of pain and then lies still. The crack underneath the portal widens and widens, and all of you have to kind of take a step or two back. And then he is swallowed within it. And the portal, or whatever, the stone slab closes again. But it does not close all the way. There is a big crack over it. It is slightly glowing, but the creature is gone. And we're out of initiative for the moment.
Okay. I just want to know if we're done. Like, I wanna roll intuition to sense whether there's something that I'm missing.
Actually, I would
Ooh,
want to do two.
Well, can you specify? What do you mean?
Like, I feel like there's something that I feel like there's a part that we still need to do for this to be over.
So, all right, I would say I will ask you to make for me. I'll take Arcana or Religion. They're both related to intelligence, but you may or may not have one of them that is proficient in or not. I don't know.
Do not. So let's just make this pure D20 roll.
Okay.
Well, I will make that kind of roll.
19.
19. Dang. You do remember, Solon, and you can make. Well, actually, if you want to make that roll too, you can, Artendune, if you like.
Yeah, I want to do that. So that's intelligence plus the Arcana. That's 21.
21.
Nice.
So both of you see the sort of crack in the glow in this thing, and you see Dante, rolls back up and sort of flies back to your shoulder, Willow. Both of you are aware that portals can be broken in many methods, but if they are cracked this way, if they've been weakened in the way that you've already done them, usually the way that you attend to creatures of evil is by using the water of the blessed. Holy water or something similar to that may widen and destroy the thing further. If it were up to you, that's what you would do, is try, basically, you talked about dousing it with water. Holy water would be the thing that would, because you definitely were fighting a devil, there's no question. That was absolutely what that was, that you were just dealing with.
So I turn to Artendune and say, we should have gotten some holy water before we came here.
Say again?
I say, we should have gotten holy water before we came here.
Well, I did not. We should have, but I do not believe we would have gained anything without. Well, certainly yes, there was a planet.
We've done our best, but I don't feel comfortable leaving this place until this hole is fully closed.
Could we perhaps use this? No, we could not. Could we use a scroll? Perhaps.
I don't think that will be effective since the dragon.
No, that was only for
So-
me. If we were in rather dark trouble.
I don't think
You're right.
song lyrics
You're right
become
about that.
holy just because an Asimar wrote them. Perhaps there's something here. I want to look around to see if anything can count as water of the blessed.
Oh, you have plenty of stuff to count as water. The question is, how do you make it holy? You got plenty of stuff to be used for water.
Do I put my prayer beads in a bowl of water?
Because you have the you have the prayer beads right now wrapped around excuse me, the
Scroll.
song lyrics, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Would a medicine check help me answer this question?
I don't
Nope.
think medicine would.
Yeah.
No.
The holy water is actually not medicine. But I want to roll something. I want to know essentially if I know how to make
Make a
holy
religion check
water.
for me. That's fine.
That's whiz or int.
That should be wisdom, I believe. Actually, wait a second. Maybe not. No, that may be intelligence. I'm wrong. Yep, intelligence. Sorry. My bad.
Cool. It's pure D20.
Holy water in 5
Lol.
in Forgotten Realms.
Lol. I
Yeah.
got an 8. I do not
That-
know.
You don't know.
That's usually
I will
Used
also
for
make a
healing.
religion check.
Okay. And sorry, Art and Dune, that's usually what?
holy water in Forgotten Realms. That's usually used to healing, isn't it?
No, holy water is usually used for religious rituals and has particular effectiveness
Okay,
against
so
the
more like
undead
real
and the
world.
creatures of the plains of hell. And you're like, look, my time that I spend with water is all organic, and I don't know about this holy business. All water is great.
All water.
Well, I rolled
Well,
terribly. So the only thing I can do is think of is to ask for help. One of us needs to go find some holy water and bring it back here.
Would holy water count as magic?
No, it count as holy. I'm being facetious, but it would no. It's not magic. It is religiously blessed. It is infused with the quality of faith.
Water of the blast. And I kind of like whisper aloud for. Essentially, I'm doing this purposefully so Willow can hear. I wonder if those reindeer want for something to drink.
I think it would be best if Willow tried to find any holy water, cause I'm a fighter, but Druid are more attuned towards the more of the holy side of things.
Mm-hmm. And I don't feel comfortable leaving this hole open. Not
I-
while.
I turn to the pseudo dragon on my shoulder and say, "Do you know where I could find holy water, short of actually going to the Temple of Lythander?"
And the Dante sort of looks at the pseudo dragon, looks at you, and then leaps off your shoulders and takes flight and begins to fly away again, basically in another
And I
direction.
follow. You two stay here and guard.
I was just
I'll
gonna ask
be back
that.
as soon as I can.
So that's it. Selwyn and Arden are staying here while Willow goes. Is that
Yep.
is that
Okay.
fair?
I
So
immediately just assume battle pose as if I'm waiting for this goddamn demon to come back out of the stone and come back for round 2.
I had this image of you being like Qui-Gon in the Phantom Menace at the end, where you're just
yes.
waiting, on his knees, waiting for the things to open up so he could start fighting again. You know what I mean? He's just
No,
sort of
he
waiting,
was
waiting.
meditating. He was meditating.
He's meditating, basically, yeah. So, Willow, you are brought with unerring speed. You do not see the reindeer again, but you're brought out of the city of the dead. And in about 20 minutes or so, you are brought back to the villa. And Dante actually flies in, and you're literally walking in as walking out is one of the priests who was brought originally to the villa. And Dante literally does several loops around the priest and then comes back to you and lands on your shoulders, and the priest, who recognizes you, says, my child, what has happened? What are your companions?
We need help. We have just fought and defeated a demon or a devil. I'm not even sure, but there's a big crack in the stone altar portal, and we need to seal it up. We think that holy water can do it. Do you have it, or can you come and bless the snow in the city of the dead and make some holy water for us?
So he says, so you're going through this. He's like, stone altar, demon. He says, yeah, and he looks down, and he's got one of these long, the robes, the full thing, and he's got the staff, and he says, and he looks down, and he literally pulls open one portion of his robe, and he's just got Van Helsing like 4 flasks of just ching 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 ching, and he's just like,
You want some holy water?
bring me, child, right? And you were able to bring him backwards. Now Dante again takes off and like flies the other way. Now the question is, because it took you 20 minutes to get back here, are you basically hustling at the same speed to get back the other direction? In other words, you're not taking your time, Willow, right? Like I assume...
I am not taking my time.
Okay.
I'm going as fast as I can get this priest to go.
So it takes a little longer, but you get back basically after about 45 minutes have passed. In the interim, Samhain and Artendoom, nothing has shifted around the area. Everything looks to be more or less the same as where you left it.
Yeah, we're just sitting around playing cards.
Yeah, exactly. Like nothing has happened so far. And you hear first the sound of like padding footsteps, and then quickly see appearing Willow, accompanied by one of the priests, who comes up and sees all of you and sees the crack and then sees the candelabra and the wings and shakes his head and says, "This creature that you defeated, where is it?"
The pit ate it.
Ate it? What did it do exactly?
It we had been fighting it, and it fell back on the altar that was already cracked, and then it just kind of swallowed him.
And he nods solemnly and he says, "Very well. Everyone step back."
I step back.
I step back.
I step back.
Okay. He pulls out one of the flasks, and he, over it, he like says some, you can't quite make out, some musical melody. And then he takes the flask and basically smashes it onto the cracked stone. There is a rumbling and a flare of orange and purple, and you hear coming from somewhere deep below the earth this unearthly and then it goes silent, and the stone cracks and rumbles, and the sort of priest steps back and sort of pulls the 3 of you back as well. And after about maybe 30 seconds or so, the rumbling stops, and you see simply a pile of stone where the statue and the the stone slab used to be. And he turns back to you and nods slowly, and he says, "That's good. We have closed a portal tonight. You have all done well, but you have also made a powerful enemy. Whoever the devil was that meant to come through this served a greater lord. You've made an enemy of that lord now, but you've also struck a..." And he sort of, as you say that, his eyes widen, and he says, "Asmodeus is a powerful enemy, but you've struck a great blow against him. Well done. I think it would probably be best if you returned to the villa to report what has happened."
I had
With
the
great
same thought.
haste.
Might I ask one favor, though?
Yes?
Do you have any more of that water that you might be willing to trade?
And he smiles and he says, "Now I have to ask a quick question. Which one of you was carrying the page of the wooden girl?
I think Willow was...
Yeah, I think Willow
I
had
believe
it.
it was me, yes.
So when he sort of does this, he smiles and he pulls out a flask, which presumably he's going to hand to you. But as he does so, his eyes widen a little bit, Willow, And he says, your pack, child. Your pack. And he kind
I
of
hand
points
him
at your
my pack.
And
Or I open it, whatever he wants.
yeah, there's like, so it's actually glowing. And inside you can see that there are ashes where the page of the wooden girl used to be. And he says, whatever you possessed inside has been taken along with the portal. And if I may say, and he hands one flask, he has, remember, had 4 to begin with, hands one flask to you, Samhain, and one flask to you, Ardendoon, and the last one he hands to you, Willow. And he says, this may be of help to you in the future. Though, if I may advise some caution, it is not wise to open portals when you don't know exactly how to close them. I'm glad that you've done so in this case. And he looks
Thank
in
you
the
very
bag and he
much.
says, what was there? What was that thing?
It was an evil fairy tale. Or a very uncomfortable fairy tale, at least. It was the tale of a wooden doll that was tempted to leave its maker and go. It wanted to be free, but it turned out to be a sacrifice to an evil plan. And the name changed from Eliza to the name of the daughter of the castle, Elzenera.
And he sort of nods slowly and he says, that is troubling. And it is troubling for another reason. He sort of lowers his voice and then he starts to say, because you see, and then you hear the sound of bells jangling as if being carried by someone. And you can see the light of torches. And walking across the path through the city of the dead towards you, you can see a little bit of a distance from here. You can see a party approaching. It looks like the Castellanters themselves are at the front of it, along with Captain Stargel, some of the members of the guard who are coming into the city of the dead. And the priest sees this and turns back, and he says, I would only say one thing. There have been rumors for a long time about those who have dealings with the planes below. You said this page came from this fairy tale, and that the fairy tale was possessed by the child. But the fairy tale would have come originally from her parents, and the Castellanters. He kind of trails off and looks back, and then looks at you and says, there are others who wish for bridges to be built. You will need to keep your eyes out for those bridges, and make sure you do what you can to knock them down before something else crosses over it. And as you see the unsmiling faces of the Castellanters appearing, Dante breathes a little bit of a smoke again, leaps from your shoulder, Willow, and spirals up into the sky and disappears.
Farewell.
And that is where we are going to bring Winter's Splendor to a close. Good work, everybody. Good stuff. You did indeed destroy the Bearded Devil. I have to say, as bad as the rolls had been last week, man, this thing was, after that first attack, was sucking it. And the last, it was just failing like a champ. And also, you did some big things, especially the Thorn Whip thing. Getting it off that stone slab helped a lot.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure how you were going to do that.
Brilliant strategy.
Yeah,
there.
like I was like, well, you scorpioned it up
Now
right there.
comes the question that's been bugging on my mind. What effects the egg have at all?
If you had opened the egg, there would have been other stuff that would have happened. But you didn't open the egg, so it didn't happen.
An evil trout?
Okay.
There might have been other stuff with the kids, maybe.
Mm.
But
Okay, good. Because I'm gonna be like big honest with you. There came a point very early in the first session where I was like, I don't care if this entire village is like devoured by the universe. So long as these two children make it out alive, I'm good.
Yeah, exactly. No, you saved saved the children is actually what happened in this regard. So it actually worked. I will start with at the bottom of the column with the inimitable Echo Alpha X5. Good stuff tonight, Echo. You had, I think, especially in the combat, had some very good moments. You actually drew first blood, so to speak, although it wasn't as effective until Willow's attack made it easier to be more effective. But the True Strike was also a good idea. There's actually a whole discussion on whether it makes sense to use True Strike, which then gives you advantage, but then would it be better to get 2 attacks, right? Because you're taking a turn off to get an attack. And the answer basically to that is when you absolutely positively cannot miss a goddamn attack. Like when you want an attack to hit, that's when you need to use True Strike. So I think it was interesting that you were doing it in that regard. How did you feel about the adventure, I guess, as a whole today and last week? How'd you feel about it, and where will the lovely people see you next?
Certainly an interesting adventure. That's for damn certain. It's quite. I don't know. Like Kinko Trout says with a lot of video games and movies that it's Christmas themed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This one feels more like Halloween meets snow.
I thought like Nightmare Before Christmas themed, right? It was like that kind of themed, you know? Yeah.
And Kamuchi was quite like a Spartan Davy Jones.
Yeah, that's true, and was supposed to be end up being more of a badass than he turned out to be. But and then that, by the way, as we'll talk about Samhain's last hit. Hell yeah, like that was just
Lord.
like dang, like pow. So anyway,
I did 40 damage. I did 40 hit points.
You did a lot of yeah. I was just kind of like,
little...
welp, that's
welcome to my world.
All of those things hit, and I was like, all right, okay.
Yeah, but welcome to my world of Roderick Rehiven. So
yeah, rogues and your damage. Yeah. Where will the fine folks see you next, Echo?
But it was fun, and again, people should consider jumping on board with the D&D reviewers because it's a lot of fun, and you can get to try it out and everything. And I have the commands and everything in chat. I will actually trigger it for your pleasure. There you go. It's in chat.
Lovely.
And people will see me next on stream sometime in the new year. I will let Shadowed Mage take care of that once he returns home.
Mm-hmm.
Beyond that, you can find me on Twitter and on Twitch at EchoAlpha_X5. And I'm most likely will be seen tomorrow at Dark Saber 2K's GOG stream, maybe pop in the Dangle Kitties, I'm not certain. And I have a comment to your Game of the Year.
Okay.
I have not played it yet, but I am a fanatic of Assassin's Creed games. So my Game of the Year automatically, without having played it, will be Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Without having played it.
Yep.
I love Assassin's Creed, but I'd have to play it to know.
That's how much I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm willing to bet I will actually love it.
Yeah,
it will be new stuff, as I've heard, settlement buildings and other stuff. But new stuff came with Syndicate, with Unity, with Origins, and people still loved it. Unity was a bit of a
I was gonna say eventually, loved it.
Yeah, but such as with all games. But I am throwing my hand at Assassin's Creed Valhalla as my Game of the Year, because it's about time we had new Assassin's Creed games. And I don't think there is anything further to say other than my throat. Have still a happy Festivus, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Chalisa, whatever Terma spoke of.
Yeah.
And Xmas, and Now you're gonna have to wait another year to see my Santa hat flail
I
again.
know.
And it will be in a new location as well.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
So, yeah,
Congratulations in
will-
advance.
Yeah, and I will wish Arvin's, since this will also be the final time I see Arvin at his old home and everything, I will wish him and his family a happy move. And when you start to pack things up for real, take pictures of your old office before you do, and then pack it down. Then you take new pictures, and etc. etc. You know what I mean?
Yes, I will. I will absolutely
So,
do that, and
mhm.
people will have, of course, a very good idea of my background, having seen it for the last, 8 years of streaming since I've been doing this. But yeah,
Yeah,
but I appreciate
so
that.
So I have a happy movement and a happy brand new start of 2021, considering Joe Biden's going to be into office on the 7th.
No, he will be officially. The votes will be the elector votes will be accepted on January 6th, and then he will be inaugurated on
sworn in.
January 20th.
Yeah.
So
20th. Nice.
yep, which is
That's
my
a
daughter's
surprise.
birthday. So little Arv will be will have her birthday and will become a teenager the same year that we become beginning to move towards being a sane country again, which will be a long road, but at least we'll take a step in that direction on the 20th. So thank God.
At least it will be a long, good 4 years. Let's hope for that.
Let's hope for that. Thank you, Echo, so much. Always a pleasure. Appreciate it. Good stuff. Also, good stuff, as always, from Triffity Mats. And obviously, you had a very eventful day with the situation with the pseudo dragon and with the connection. You obviously were integral in adjusting the lines given to you by Samhain for the poem, and then obviously you had some of the perception checks, and you were hitting some serious rolls there. And the Thorn Whip was big because the resistance was going to make that difficult, and eventually he was going to stop completely being garbage on attack rolls and was going to eventually start hitting you guys.
Right.
And when he did hit, I mean, he hit Samhain for 5 points of damage right off the bat, and would have poisoned were it not for Samhain's normal resistance to that. So, he's kind of nasty, and your Thorn Whip became hugely important to that. So, how did you feel about today, and where will the lovely folks see you next?
Well, I felt a lot more satisfied with the outcome of today than I did last Saturday.
Yes, same.
The games that we've been playing with Shadowed have been a lot of interactions and character, but not a lot of puzzles. So some of this was a bit of a struggle trying to, figure out where the story needed to go in order to make progress on it.
Mhm.
But eventually, we did make the necessary progress, and
Yes.
that was satisfying. And it was fun workshopping the ending of that poem
Yeah.
with Brandon. That was fun making that work together. Yeah, I had the thought that I needed a magic weapon against this devil demon, and that turned out to be even more successful and useful than I had thought it would be. So that was also pretty gratifying.
Yep.
So yeah, I enjoyed tonight's session, and I'm really glad that we got to finish.
I am too.
Now I know how Roderick feels.
Yeah.
You can find me most often on Twitter at PE Matson. My Stargate Fun podcast should have another episode out on Sunday or Monday, I think. And yeah, that's about it for right now. I mean, I've recorded another couple of podcasts, but those won't be out anytime soon. So that's about it for now.
Very cool. Thank you, Triffid. Always a pleasure. And again, happy holidays and all that stuff. I'm sure I'll see you on stream before this, but happy holidays nonetheless. And thank you as always for everything and for being doing a great job during these sessions. Last but certainly not least, Brandon, again, eventful day for Samhain also, because we got not only the situation with the as you said, as Triffid just said, the working together on finishing up that song, which was really cool, and I was enjoying watching two people with poetic and songwriting backgrounds do this. But then also you got a chance to see what this was like when you actually, fought the devil, and some of it where you're just sort of like, I stand up and I go, like deal with the candelabra, and the thing starts glowing, and you're like, I was cracking up, and you're just kind of like, all right, admittedly, that was probably my fault. You got back off the thing.
I mean, it was. I touched the thing.
You're just like, that's probably me that did that. That was really cracking me up. But I mean, geez, like, I'll tell you what, man, they're at a level 2, being able to inflict that much damage in a turn is real baller. Like there's a whole big, like, that is very much, again, the kung fu vibe where you just get to the end of it and you're just like, that was good stuff. So
speaking of that, what level was my halfling monk? Because I believe Bonko Bombadil was.
Oh, I don't remember.
Wasn't that level 7?
No, I don't think I usually do that for that high level. Usually these are anywhere from like 1 to maybe 4 or 5 at the most.
So
but I try not to go more than
4 or
that.
5, then oh good lord, I better study up if. That's
But remember,
gonna
he put everything into that. I mean, like, it was a key strike. It was like he did a lot of stuff to try to get it that way.
No,
And-
like, this is the first time I've ever played a monk. So
Yeah,
on
same for me.
on my end, I was like, 2 key points doesn't seem like a lot.
Oh,
Seems like I don't have that much utility. I spent 1 key point
Right.
to do 40 damage
Yeah,
to
man.
a demon.
now, admittedly, that's not usually how that goes down. But like, with it's not you did particularly well. But that made up for previous ones where you maybe had not done as well. So it all evened out.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about today? Where will the lovely folks see you next?
So I have a lot of feelings about this game. One of which is I actually thought that that song puzzle is actually really neat, and I feel like I need to introduce some of those things for some people at some point. Playing a monk is really cool, and I feel like I want to do that some more at some point.
I like
whenever
monks, yeah.
when I get back into like playing things rather than GMing things. I'd like to play a monk in a D&D game again. Also, halflings are interesting because I didn't notice that I was lucky until tonight because I haven't rolled a 1.
Yeah,
But
that
that
halfling
didn't stop
luck.
me from rolling
Yep.
badly.
Yep.
So like,
Yep. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that crit 1 going off of something like Darksaber in my GOG game, who's a halfling, or John playing his halfling rogue, and me being like, that's a crit miss. He's like, nope, halfling luck. I'm like, God bless America. Yeah, fine. So I had to root for like 2s, or 3s, and be like, all right, that sucked, but not that badly sucking, So yeah.
Yeah, but that was really cool. All in all, I think I really enjoyed this game. I still want to know what was up with the reindeer, but that's just me. And as for me generally, hi everybody, I'm Brandon O'Brien. I am a poet, writer, and game designer based in Trinidad and Tobago. I am here almost every Sunday for our Speculate Blades of the Dark series, The Case of the Descended Seal, as well as Sound Clash the Clampdown, our all BIPOC cast actual playtest of my game that I am designing called Sound Clash, a game of music and magic and sticking it to the man.
With new video intro on the way, by the way.
With new video intro on the way that I think is going to be really dope. I like literally just like puked out a long list of songs that I think would be really cool as inspirations for that, and I'm really kind of interested in seeing what it finally looks like in the new year.
It was great.
So expect a new session of Sound Clash the Clampdown, a new session of The Case of Descended Seal, and some other Speculate things coming up soon in January 2021.
Yep.
Other updates for me in the new year, Capricorn 41, which will be taking place from the 4th to the 7th of February. I am one of its guests of honor.
Nice.
So when that happens in February, please come and hang out. One of the things that I spoke to the programming folks at programming about was perhaps doing a Blaze in the Dark thing with our strange friends. So
Ooh.
we'll see how that goes, because I think it would be really cool.
That'd be slick, yeah.
I have a poetry collection coming out in 2021 called Can You Sign My Tentacle? So if you're interested in like reading about what the weird experience of seeing the gods of the Cthulhu mythos asking black rappers for their autographs might be like, I have some poems that weirdly
We
depict those
need to
things.
send that to Darksaber 2K.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Just give me a list of folks who need to get copies. I will see it done. And I guess the one thing that I do want to close out the year with is 2020 has been tough for everybody. I'm not gonna, like, everybody already knows that to the point where it's kind of cliche just to say it aloud. And I know that there is this kind of energy to not expect anything from 2021. And I do kind of have that same energy, but I do believe that if there's anything that we have learned from this year that we should keep into the new year, it is that we can get through anything so long as we listen to each other, we care about each other, we make ourselves available to each other, and we're willing to learn and correct ourselves when there are things that we think or know deep in our hearts that are well and truly wrong. And I think that if we all live from now until 2021 with that in our hearts, 2021 will just not become the best year ever, but we'll see it become a whole lot better than this year was, and that's a step in the right direction. So I hope that everybody's had a wonderful holiday season. I look forward to welcoming you all in the new year with all of my love and all of my light. And I hope that you all be good neighbors to each other.
Yeah, if I may input some of that might as well. January is going to be a special bit for my hometown because me and my family has been given text notifications of a vaccination for the COVID-19.
Oh, cool.
So we might actually get inoculated perhaps soon. So we'll just see. And yeah, what Brandon O'Brien said. And I have to just point it out. I am doing community D&D every other Wednesday, and I have 2 DMs in the party, and now I have 2 DMs again, Brandon O'Brien and Robin Elleron. How come I track every DM there is? Good Lord above.
I mean, this channel is almost getting to the point where everyone has become a GM at least once. I think Arv's ultimate goal at some point is that, like, in mid 2021, he'll be like, okay, here's what. I'm never playing a tabletop game here again. Y'all run all of that. I'm just gonna play Final Fantasy until I'm done, and then we're just gonna figure something else. All tabletop is the rest of y'all.
Big enough to hold every
There you
GM
go.
and DM.
Yeah, this is a big like Magnum PI thing where I just vanish in the past and was like, "What? Who was this Arvin Elleron?" Well, legends say one time. No, the reality is I love DMing. I love game mastering too much, I think, to give it up, especially with these wonderful players. But I will say, just to sort of follow along with that I agree entirely with what Brandon said. And one of the things that's really important to me has been to gather a community of people that can, as Brandon said, draw strength from each other, that can listen to each other, that can, make corrections when they need to be made in their own behavior, and to be compassionate with each other. And I very much appreciated that energy. And I think you see 3 great representatives of that here, with the 3 players that were playing to all of it. The D&D with viewers, these 3 folks below me here in the column did just a wonderful job in kind of representing that for everyone. And I am firmly of the belief that we set examples by how we act and behave, and the example of compassion and kindness and love and, searching for justice, those are all things that are, first of all, that work together in harmony, and second of all, are represented by all of the wonderful people that have contributed to this channel over the years. And so in a very difficult, I'll talk more about this on Tuesday, but in a very difficult 2020 for everybody, the community here has been a shining light for me in seeing how people can can be better. And I think we have a lot of really good people here. And so I'm honored to be a part of that on this channel. So thank you so much to Brandon. Thank you so much to Trish. I'll use your so-called real name for once, Trish. I hope you'll forgive me.
That's okay.
And thank you so much to Echo Alpha, who has been here for a long time. All of these represent really, really not just good people, but people who are wonderful members of the community that a lot of others can learn from and can be role models for others too. So thank you to all of them.
There is one final point from me now on that point.
Which is?
I grew up, I got bullied a lot. Okay, so my escape was the PC, as many of us who are in the chat, and Arvid Edron, and perhaps Brandon and Trish. So we escaped to Tron, basically, to the digital world of the computer. And 20 or 30 or 40 years later, we are now here. I am talking to a man from America and from Canada, America, Brandon?
From the Caribbean, Trinidad.
Caribbean, oh. And from, Trish, help me out, please.
I'm also from America, from the United States.
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Yeah. And as 2020 has been, and hashtag stay at home, whatever people say that are prejudiced towards talking to strangers, if they're physical, well, in a sense, if it is physical strangers, well, yes. But in a sense that you can actually, you can gain advice and help and perhaps begin a friendship with somebody that you have never met or possibly never will, it can still help you to escape while learning a lot of things that you would not perhaps learn physically yet.
Mhm.
So whatever negativity you hear about meeting people online and everything, and I'm well aware that such has happened, yes. But life is nothing without its evil. Because you can't have playing good and playing bad. You have in between. But there's always a way to thrive and to grow and to become stronger with any community, if it be it physical or digital. I have a community here. I have a community on many channels. I have a community in the physical world as I have grown from an unbearded young boy to a man with a black beard who's soon to probably go blonde again, but I'm going to correct that during February. So don't be afraid to reach out if you play MMOs and everything. Just take a step at a time and don't let the darkness cloud your thoughts and everything. And if it comes to a point that you are contemplating the S word, just call the S hotline. I won't say the word because it's we have done a grand thing tonight on the D&D. So yeah, let's not sound it though. So.
And I've put the thing in the
Yeah,
chat.
thank you, Brandon.
And I will just echo very briefly by pointing out, as he mentioned, MMOs. Whenever you're playing certain MMOs, there are sections that will tell you that you can't get through this without a party. And that's because they're reminding you that sometimes when things become incredibly difficult, the thing that you need most at that point in time is for someone to join you and support you in that endeavor. So never be afraid to call your party to help you out when you're hitting a rough patch, because there will be people who will gather their gear and join you.
Indeed.
And some of those people are in the chat right now.
Yes.
Absolutely, and I would.
I would believe that he who departed from us on the 3rd of March,
yeah,
our beloved Kilobytes, is tonight roaming through every single one of us, because he will say all of these words, and I can perhaps use Arudinal as an example because he has spoken with Kerbite about many problems, and he has told me about some of them, and I understand from his viewpoint. Yeah, yes, I have not experienced it, but I can understand it. So there's always the light at the end of the tunnel.
Mhm.
Yep.
And to quote two great people I admire on the films and television, I have to. Oh, okay. I've seen bad turn to good plenty of times, and you just can't lose faith. And sometimes, oh my God, I have just forgotten it. Oh, let me think.
I'll just
Oh.
mention I feel incredibly lucky to have found this channel. I came here by way of Turbo Tango, and then I found Prince Justin was here also. And you know, I believe the first stream I watched was Arvin playing Detroit Become Human, and I was struck by the thoughtfulness of the discussion going on, both from Arvin and the chat responding to him, and him responding to the chat. And I realized that this was a special community, and I kept coming back, and the community welcomed me with open arms. And it has really helped me through this lonely year. And I was very flattered and thrilled when Arvin asked me to become a moderator, because I believe that, you know, when you're part of a community, you try to help the community grow. And it's been really rewarding to me. It's work sometimes, but it's so rewarding to be a part of this group, to be friends with people. I hope to meet a lot of you in real life sometime when we start going to conventions again.
Mhm.
And I love y'all, and I'm very glad to be a part of this community.
Thank you, Shiv. I am really grateful for all of those words. You know, the end of years is always a chance to assess and reach a milestone. And I would point out that it was in the deepest midwinter that humans created this idea of something to keep them warm besides the physical warmth, right? It was the fear of deep, dark, and cold, and it was our ability to tell stories with each other, to each other, that kept us going. And those have always been the lights that brought us through darkness at this time. And so, as I've said, all of you in this channel and all of the members of this community are examples of those lights in the darkness that, bound together, become something enormously powerful. And so I always love hearing those. I'll let you talk about that in a second, Echo, before and then I do have to let you guys go. But I always really appreciate the individual stories that sort of make up, come from that through to become part of the whole here. And so I'm very grateful to hear that. So, thank you to, again, each one of the three of you who have done that, because it really makes a difference. And for all of you in chat who have been a huge, huge part of what we've done here, and hopefully will be an even better 2021 to come. We can't control the world, but we can control us, and we will continue to try to be better and to grow as we move into the new year. Echo, you'll get the last word, and then I'm going to let these folks go.
Just because we stumble or lose our way, it doesn't mean we're lost forever.
Yep. Well said. Thank you to Brandon, to Triffid, to Echo, and chat. Can we get some love for our players? Players, thank you very much. This was a very nice way to finish off the evening. And I'll see you folks on stream.
Prelude, happy New Year.
Yes,
Prelude, Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year to all. Bye for now, players.
Bye.
Go.
And that is going to do it for this evening. Yeah, what a great pleasure. And as I've often said, I love doing these sorts of things because it really ties us together. I said now that what I was doing when I was young, playing D&D, was trying to figure out a way. We were all sitting around a table, when I was 10, 11, and 12, trying to say a way, trying to figure out how to say I love you. And for 10 and 11 and 12-year-old boys, it was one didn't do that. And yet that was really what we were trying to say. And so I'm very grateful that we get the chance to be able to do something as adults, which maybe we weren't able to sort of do as children, and to understand the worth. You've heard the saying that the youth is wasted on the young. It's nice to be able to work as I do in my my day job, so to speak, with young people, but also to have contact with so many people that gives me a chance to recognize how important it is to put together what I learned when I was younger, what it meant then, and to understand that and still be around to do it now as an adult. So I am not an adult objection. So, but this was a great pleasure. So thank you again to Echo Alpha X5, to Triffity Metz, and to Brendan O'Brien for friendship and wonderful play. And I'm very happy they could be a part of this going forward. I also am happy to all of you, although I will say that I'm going to be doing my quote, talking a little bit about end of the year stuff on Tuesday. I won't spend a lot of time on it, but I will spend, a good 20 minutes or so talking a little bit about what happened in the past with the channel, how 2020 was, what 2021 looks like for the channel, plans going forward, and that sort of thing, kind of a state of the channel, which I like to do every year. And then we will go into the final stream of the year, which is going to be, at least on my channel, which is going to be playing through Hades, which is the Patreon Field Chat Chosen Game of the Month. Then in the afternoon, I'll be over on GOG playing one of my last 2 sessions, probably, Vaporum Lockdown, and then we will wrap up 2020 and be moving on to 2021. That will be the hope moving forward. I'm sorry to hear that, Hilness. I'm sorry about that, dude. But I hope everyone enjoyed tonight. I certainly did. I hope everyone enjoyed having a chance to play through what was a good adventure. There are some things about it that I might tweak a little bit, and I did actually tweak some of them already. But other than that, I think this had some good moments to it. And this, again, was Winter's Splendor by Ashley Warren, and was made free, is made available to everybody by WotC. And Ashley also contributed to my Tales and Tomes from the Forbidden Library, which is going to be coming out in print form, is already, in the US, being shipped out to its various places. So it's on the way. It's just actually got to get there. So hang in there. It will actually happen. But I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you all to my players once again. So I will see you folks schedule-wise on Tuesday. There is an off chance that I might be able to stream before that, either Sunday or Monday as a bonus stream. I don't know. I wouldn't, I can't promise it, but I might be able to do that and play some more Final Fantasy VII Remake. We will see how that works. Needed more dragons. Yeah, there you go, Dragon Spear. But I'm looking forward to getting a chance to play more of that game soon, possibly as a bonus stream, but if not, then on Tuesday, as I say, we will have our wrap-up streams and then move into what promises to be a very busy, productive, and intriguing 2021. It'll be a year of recovery for the world, I hope. It'll be a year of sanity, or at least moving towards sanity for the United States. There will have to be a reckoning for things as well. And on the local level, it'll be, my family will be moving. There'll be stuff hopefully going on the publishing side of things, work to be done with Icarus, and the next books with Tales and Tomes, and what happens next with 2 manuscripts that I'm in the process of submitting right now, one nonfiction, one fiction, and then video game work for Chosen Heart, and of course that big Crochet Kickstarter, which is launching early February. So we got a lot going on from the publishing side of things, and yeah, it'll be busy, but not boring. And I think spreading the word about all of this will be a big part. And so thank you all so much to make this a part of things. Hello, Dr. Trephonius. Yeah, I finished up all the side quests. I actually got the thing from the Angel of the Slums confirming I did all the side quests. And now I am on my way up. I've already gotten those floors. I'm in the Shinra building, and I'm up on the 59th or 60th floor. So I've made good progress. I'm almost there. If you like what you saw and heard today, I hope you will consider following the channel. I hope you'll check out my YouTube with !arvtube, Discord with !arvcord, Twitter with !arvtweets, website arvaneleron.com. On that YouTube, please, if you haven't already done so, please make sure to go over to YouTube and please sub to my channel there if you can. I'm trying to make some advanced movement in that area because I'm up to like 670 some odd followers there right now. You can monetize the channel when you get to 1,000 followers, and I'd like to do that at that YouTube channel just to give me some flexibility. I like Twitch very much. I'd like to get partnered here. I love the community as part of Twitch, but it's just a good idea, especially in these times, to have options available. And if I had to go streaming somewhere else ever, I don't want to do that on Facebook. I'm not going to ever do that. So I'd like to be able to have other options available, and that means, that means YouTube and being able to monetize over there. So I hope that people will consider going over. That's free, but I would hope people will consider doing that, and would also consider supporting us on the financial side here by checking out our Patreon, !arvtreon, which will give good stuff for both you and the channel. It's really the financial backbone of the channel. !arv shop is the merchandise area where you can get stuff for my Infinity and Beyond crew, which is going to be starting a new mini campaign next month, Palace of the Red Pasha, before doing Eberron a few months after that, or in a few months from now. I would expect Eberron to start somewhere around April or May would be my guess. And then of course the Adventures of Middle-earth crew as well, which is currently doing Erebor Adventures. We've got stuff for them, and soon to have Esper Genesis stuff there as well. And of course, last on all that front, the sub front. Please sub to the channel if you haven't done so already, as a few of you have already done. That gives you a subscription that allows you to inspire the players of my tabletop campaigns, depending on the tier that you support at. Also gives you those custom sub badges and emotes and all that kind of good stuff. So all of that would be very much appreciated. Finally, on the publishing side, as I said, !Icarus for details about my Icarus graphic novel from Athos Arts, !Library for tales and tomes from the Forbidden Library from Alligator Alley Entertainment, again coming out in print within the next couple of weeks. It's already being shipped on the way, and it's already available on DriveThruRPG and digital, so please head over there. It's a silver seller as we speak. And of course, Gray Shade Chaos, which is going to be a big Kickstarter for me. It's one of the biggest ones I've ever been involved with. So fingers crossed. We've got a lot invested in it, but I think it's a great project, and I'm very excited for that. And then we've got, of course, BLM, Black Lives Matter. We had all this talk just now about community, and a big part of that is supporting that community and the members of that community, and no one needs that more right now than affirming and asserting the significance and importance of Black lives and protecting those lives, and that's what that is designed to do. It gives you educational resources and also places where you can donate and things like that, so that is very much appreciated if you can support there. And of course, Help Now, as Echo Alpha X5 said, which allows you to support support and find out more resources. The World Health Organization suicide prevention page, and it really is important that you reach out to people if you think they need help, and that you reach out to others if you need help. We need you. We do not need fewer lights. We need more lights in the darkness, and those lights together can become a powerful way to light our path towards the future. And so we need you all to do that. So please do reach out in the members of our community, but elsewhere, because it is really that important. We are going to do a raid today. The way we do raids are very, very simple. Thank you, Mrs. Dunsel. The way we do raids is very simple. If you are not a sub, you are going to do this, which is the Arvanauts Have Landed, followed by Twitch raid, lowercase twitch, uppercase R, lowercase AID. If you are a sub, you're going to do this. The Arvanauts Have Landed. You've got Arvany Hype, Twitch raid, Arvany Roar. You can also throw in Arvany Smug, Arvany Woe, Arvany Witch. Every Arvany Love, any of those Arvanys would be awesome. Arvany Roar, as I mentioned, any of those things would be great, so please consider doing that when you were brought over auto-magically to the channel that we're going to go raid. And you'll want to stay around for this because it's topical to what we've just been dealing with in the session that you saw tonight. I want to thank my wonderful mods tonight: Arudinel, Dragonspear, Hillness, Jedi Burner, Rock God, Triffity Metz, Coven Guy, and the Rising Tides. Thank you so much to my mods, who are the best in the business, as I've often said. Could not run this channel without them. Thank you, thank you. Thank you as well to my subscribers. Thank you to Dragonspear, Arudinel, Dragonspear, Hillness, Jedi Burner, Rock Rock God, Triffity Mats. Thank you to Echo Alpha X5, Crit Twitch, Lone Wolf, Mrs. Dunsel. Thank you as well to all my Patreon supporters there. Feel better, Hillness. Thank you to another TT viewer, Aiden Bing Cortana. Thank you to Casino Banks. No, Casino Thanks. Sorry. Thank you to Commander Root to Feet. Thank you to Go With Him. Thank you to Have This. Let's Do This Music. Thank you to Maybe Look Out of This. Thank you to Ms. Koodle, Ms. Lenity, Saddest Kitty, Silly Gnome, Tauntauns, V&K, Virgo Praz, and X Rogan. And special thanks tonight to my wonderful players, Brandon O'Brien, Triffity Metz, and Echo Alpha X5 for being awesome. Much love to all of you. You are wonderful, and I will see you folks on Tuesday, maybe before if we get lucky, but if not, I'll see you on Tuesday for our final stream of 2020. Much love to all. Stick around for the raid, and everyone, please be good to each other. Have a good night.